Lore dump.
Hello and welcome to Lore Dump, the show where we take someone who hasn't experienced a game or game franchise and walk them through the full story. I made it through it without Chase interrupting. Thank you, Chase.
I'm very depressed.
Oh no, are you okay, buddy?
No.
Why are you depressed, Chase?
It's the last day.
It's the last day.
The last day of Kingdom Hearts for now.
Listen,
for now, that's what's
in we will be here in like half a year doing Missing Link. I would not worry about it.
I've never been so proud that you already know the name of the next game.
So we are going.
I'm Neil. That's
sorry.
Chase.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
You
Sorry.
didn't do the names.
My name is Monty. I'm joined by by Neil.
Hello.
Joined by Chase, points at Neil.
And Chase, who's going to be walking us through the full story. We are covering, for this episode, we're going to be covering Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind DLC. And in the next episode, we are going to be covering Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. And we're going to be discussing some fan theories, and we're also going to be answering some of your Q&As that you sent in. So thank you in advance for the Q&As.
Thank you so much for that.
Yeah. Really, really cool. Q&As, questions and answers. They're asking the questions and they're answering their own questions. So we actually need to answer them. So thank you so much for that. But with that out of the way, we're going to get straight into it. I'm just going to say, Chase, kick us off. Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind.
Welcome, friends. Now, last time we chatted a lot. We were in the past. We were very biblical, talking of masters and betrayals and grand prophecies.
It was so good.
And it was so good.
It was.
Did you miss Sora?
I've been missing some Disney bullshit.
A little bit of me has been missing Sora, and I didn't think I would say that. I think halfway through Dark Road, a little part of me went, I wonder what Sora's
So
doing.
we're right.
But so this was the Remind was
Remind.
the DLC for 3.
It's the first and currently only DLC in the Kingdom Hearts series.
And now I would have thought that a company might have decided to be a little bit bold and maybe keep the end, Sora being still around, hidden for a few years. Keep the mystery going. Is he here? Is he out there somewhere? But no, in the DLC for 3, he's there. He's all right. He's out there somewhere.
Well. To be very clear, the DLC takes place actually during the events of 3. It doesn't actually.
Okay.
At least with Sora, it doesn't go past the events of 3.
Oh, good. This sounds like some nonsense.
Who are we playing as?
We play as Sora.
Right.
Specifically, a time-traveling ghost Sora?
With memories of his death?
Well, he didn't die. Because so this takes place. You know how at the very end of the KeYbLaDe War,
We've not even started.
you know how at like the very end of the KeYbLaDe War, Sora's like, oh, like everybody's like, oh my gosh, we won, and Sora's like, no, we didn't. Kairi's gone, and then he's like, I gotta go find Kairi, and Mickey's like, no, you can't do that. And he's like, bitch, watch me, I'm going. And then we kind of cut to like the ending cutscene where everybody's going home, and then suddenly Kairi and Sora are on a beach. So this is what happened during that bit.
Right. Okay. So it's filling in the what Sora did.
Why is Kairi back? How did Kairi come back from the dead? That's what Remind fills in.
Remind me, how did Kairi die? Xehanort stabbed her through the heart with his...
Yeah, in order to complete the 13th key to open Kingdom Hearts and create the KeYbLaDe.
As you do.
Quick question about the title of Remind. So Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind. We're looking at the cover art right now.
Yes.
It's a symbol, mind, like a bullseye symbol.
So,
is it like Final Fantasy VII semicolon make?
When it's normally written out, it is also re-colon mind.
Recolon.
So it is very similar to, I think it's just a Nomura thing. I don't know if it has anything to do with anything. I think it's just a Nomura thing.
Cool.
He likes his re-semicolon, or recolon, or whatever the thing is. Anyhow. So, this, like I mentioned, is kind of, it fills in that last kind of piece of Kingdom Hearts 3 right there at the end. And you kind of actually play it alongside, and it basically, time-traveling ghost Sora brings Kairi back to life is the thing, but it also does add some extended cuts of some prior scenes.
Right.
It adds a bit more meat to bits, specifically, mainly the bit at the end. Everything that happens in the KeYbLaDe graveyard is mainly where it gets buffed out. There's a couple scenes outside of that get buffed.
So we're not getting extended scenes of like Woody and Buzz in Toy Story.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Okay.
nothing. Who likes Disney? What do you think we like? Disney? Yeah.
So Sora's already done his jumping through the dream worlds to go back in time and stop the big massacre from happening in 3, but then it happens again, so he's got to go back and save Kairi. So in the chronology of this, the KeYbLaDe graveyard, everyone arrives there, everyone dies, Sora goes back, saves everyone, and then Kairi dies, so Sora has to go back and save her. So he goes back in time twice.
He can't sit still,
Okay.
this boy.
Yeah. He's always going back in time.
Technically, he does 6 times total, I think.
Wow.
Because technically each one of grabbing 5 people to bring him back to life in the prior was an individual thing.
Right.
So, I guess 5 time travels is the wrong way. 5 taboos. He keeps tabooing.
Oh yeah, and that's why, because at the end you said
Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
either die or get banished, and potentially he gets banished for breaking the taboos. We don't 100% know. Presumably that's what this is going to explain, is what's happening.
Presumably.
Okay, cool. I'm excited for this.
But yeah. So, getting started and coming to one of the early scenes right there at the start of the game that got a bit buffed out. Do you remember Olympus Coliseum?
I do.
Do I ever?
From Kingdom Hearts 2.9?
Yes, I do.
I'm still not over that.
Do you remember how at the very end we saw Maleficent and Pete, they were digging around trying to find a box, and they're like, it's Pandora's box, that's not the right box, we hate this box. And as they're walking away, we see Lucio Zigbar above them, and he's like, may your heart be your... And then it like cuts off to black.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
wonder what he was going to say.
So we get the whole scene.
Oh, does he just say guiding key?
No, it's his guiding...
Why did he cut away?
That's it. I mean, to be spooky.
But we know...
What are we calling him now? Zigbar,
Zigbar.
Brig, or Lucio? Because we know he's Lucio.
Zigbar.
For I think in most of my script, I just call him Lucio.
Sure.
I'm very curious to understand a little bit more about how Lucio went from being relatively hands-off, as an observer, to being way too involved.
Well, if
as
we've
Zigbar.
learned anything from Dark Road, you'll never get satisfying answers to those questions.
Well, I mean,
Thought we might.
yeah.
just a-
I mean, to be fair, it's Trader Lucio.
Well,
His
yeah.
job was to stay hands off, and then he tradered it.
Yeah, he did trade through it
He
pretty
traded
hard.
it. That's a pretty solid answer.
Yeah, we think that he doesn't think he's following the Master's plan, but we think that he actually is. The Master probably expected that he...
almost
We had
100%,
a really interesting comment that someone left on one of the videos, and we'll speak about more of the comments, but I think it's relevant here. We kind of made comments about all of the foretellers mess up, they all screw up, they all do terribly, and someone left the comment that the Masters put each of them and their personalities in the worst possible job.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
deliberately, they were in the sort of the worst
100%,
possible,
yes.
It was
which
a
I thought
very
was
good
really
comment.
really interesting. So yeah, I think you're absolutely right. This is all part of the plan.
So what's he saying?
Yeah, so I mean, he finishes off. He's like, may your heart be your hidden key. And as he does, Luxord comes through a portal and joins him.
Gambling man.
Gambling man. Who, if you remember from Kingdom Hearts 3, Zigbar had tasked with finding the black box. And he kind of shows up and he's kind of like questioning that. He's like, why are we looking for this box? What does this have to do?
I can't think of anyone I'd rather send less out of that crew.
Demyx.
Because
Water dance guy.
Well, I'm sorry.
He's just come back after God knows how long he's been away from going, why are we looking for this box? Like, go and look for the box.
Well, no,
Luxord.
so he's like, I like to know what, my opponents are thinking. I want to see into their brain. You got to tell me, where are we looking for this box? How's this box going to help the master plan? And Zigbar's like, bro, just go with it. And Luxord's like, bro, you haven't even told me, like, who gave this order. Like, was it Xehanort? Was it Xemnas? And he's like, well, Xehanort, all he cares about is, the clash of light and darkness and the KeYbLaDe and Kingdom Hearts. So, like, he's not going to care about a box. It's a box.
It's a side hustle.
It's a side hustle. It ain't his thing.
And we still do not know what's in that box.
No.
No, we don't know what's in the box.
Right.
So, if it wasn't Xehanort, it must have been Xemnas. There we go. But, little spoiler, Trixie Luxord. Luxord asked Xemnas, and Xemnas is like, no, bro, I didn't ask for that. So he's like, well, it's neither of them, so, Mr. Zigbar, why are you telling me to go find this box? What's up with you, bro? He's sussing out Lucio.
You know what he's done? He's called his bluff.
He literally yes, though. Literally yes, though. So he's like,
Starting
Sorry, I
to
just
see
got that. I just got
the wheels,
that.
the wheels turning in his head.
so
He's a clever bloke.
Lushu's like, yo, bro, don't worry about this box. For years, since ancient time, this box has been guarded since by ancient Keyblade wielders. It contains important secrets about the Keyblade wielders. And Luxord's like, why do you know that?
Hold on.
Where did you learn that from?
So, because Lushu was tasked with looking after the box, so we don't know at what point he lost the box. If he sent this guy off to find it, he doesn't know where it is. So how did he lose the box?
It's a good question.
Huh, okay.
It's a good question. It's also a good question of, did he lose it or did he hide it? Or, what's kind of going on
But
here?
why has he sent this guy to go get it?
Monty, there will be a game in 6 years which will explain this. So we know from other instances of this within the series, what happens is a strong person puts their heart into someone with a weaker heart, their heart starts to take over the body, and always starts to look like that original person. Why do they not all start looking like Lushu?
How do we know he doesn't, is my question.
Well, because we've seen Brain didn't look like Bragi, and Bragi didn't look like Zigbar. They should all start looking the same after his heart takes over. They should all start looking like that original Lushu that we don't know what he looks like, but they should all look the same.
Well, I suppose it's a question of the only other person we've seen do it is Xehanort into Terranort. So, is then potentially Terranort the exception to the rule, where he started corrupting the body to look more like the original, as opposed to that being the norm?
I mean, you can't just throw that out there.
Well,
it's the same as everything, isn't it?
and I will.
Chosen one just doesn't follow the rules. Okay.
Well,
But he's not even a chosen one. Anyway, sorry.
Who knows?
I just want to, just while we're on this, I know we're really slowing it down.
Sorry, everyone.
I know, but for context, everybody, we're doing Remind a couple of days afterwards. By the time we got to Dark Road, it had been a very, very long day, as I'm sure anybody who listened to that episode has picked up on. We were all very low energy. We were. I think it's a fine episode, but I would argue, and I think you guys would agree, it's probably the worst episode of Lore Dump we've done since we started Kingdom Hearts. It's the worst Kingdom Hearts episode we've done as a unit.
To be fair, it's also the worst Kingdom Hearts game.
I would agree with you on that. Because I just want to go on record as saying that, I didn't say it at the time, I hate that ephemer twist at the end. I really, really do. Deep down, I think.
Why?
Because I think it completely undoes the beauty and the shock of every player who played Union Cross, Chantil in our case, is a part of Xehanort. Therefore, we are all responsible in a way for the evil that Xehanort goes on to do. And instead, they have that twist, they have that shock, they have that revelation. And then Dark Road ends and they go, by the way, that twist was literally wrong. They just go, it's just not correct.
You texted me this a couple days ago.
Xehanort's
And
stepdad.
fully at the time when you texted me this, because you gave me no context when you texted me it, and you said we'll just talk about it on the podcast. I thought you meant the twist that Ephemer made Scala and Kyla.
Fine, yeah.
That's a great twist. I think that makes total sense. I like Ephemer being the big daddy of all the Keyblade Masters. I hate that Ephemer actually was reincarnated as Xehanort rather than Chantil.
Ephemer wasn't.
Sorry, no, he's the great-great-great-great-granddad.
Great-grandfather.
But as a result, what it does is it undoes our character was reincarnated as Xehanort.
Well,
Instead, they're reincarnated as a Blue Roby.
Yes and no, because we could also argue, though, that from this final scene, Blue Roby, Chantil, started putting all of these thoughts of, you are a chosen one into the brain of Xehanort, which presumably lived with him for the rest of his life when we get to the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, and he's like, and Sora's like, it's not your choice to make, and he's like, oh, who else would it be? Presumably speaking from this, I'm the chosen one,
No, that's fine, but that's still one step removed. That's still diluted.
I
sure
much prefer to the idea that there's a little bit of Chantil coming through in that moment.
You just wanted to be Chantil.
No, that's fine. But
Also, the twist makes me like Chantil less, and I think I said this to you, Monty, because presumably Chantil chooses to do a very noble thing, which is raise the descendant of his friend on this island, raise them to be brave and strong and not have all these ideas about light and darkness. It's a really noble thing to do. Also, Chantil presumably knows that there are now 13 awful darknesses out in the world and chooses not to go and tell people about it, but to stay on an island for 20 years.
Not to tell the chosen one about it, because Xehanort, it comes as a shock to Xehanort that the primordial darknesses exist. He doesn't learn that.
Okay, I'm a cut it all because we'll chat this when we talk about Missing Link later.
You're right. Sorry.
We'll chat. We were talking about Luxord and Zigbar. How did we get so off the topic?
Sorry, I just don't like Dark Road.
Dark Road is mid. We'll leave it at that. Anyhow, so
get control of your podcast, Chase.
Zigbar's like, yo, bro, this box has been, guarded by Keyblade wielders for centuries. It contains secrets about the Keyblade Masters. And Luxord's like, bro, bro, why do you know that? Like, who are you? You know, and he's like, you know, he throws a card at him. He's like, what?
Sorry, everybody, you can't see Chase right now, but Chase's reaction to that was he throws a card at you, and he did like a little thing with 2 fingers, like he's throwing a card, and he gave me a look as if he was about to eat my soul.
Does he then leave after throwing the card?
Oh, I wish he was that cool. No. He throws it, and he's like, you know, why is this important now? You know, is it because perhaps you heard somebody else is looking for the box, and if they find the box first, they might learn some secret connection that you have to it that you don't want to get out.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
Luxord is like fully sussed him out. And, you know, he's like, you know, who are you? Never mind. You know,
Doesn't matter.
I don't actually care. Whatever. And he teleports away.
Luxord egg. Throws another card.
He basically comes to me like, yo, bro, I'm on to you. I'm gonna do what you say, but I'm on to you just so you know.
I might start punctuating more sentences with throwing things at people. Does Xemnas does Zigbar catch the card? Does it bounce off his chest? What are you doing?
No, Zigbar's too cool for that. As he catches the card. Well, you don't see what's on the card.
This is a weird gimmick, by the way. I should have told you this years ago, man.
I know we didn't leave a lot for you.
But no, so as he teleports away, Luciu's left alone, questioning. The question is, who are you, Luxord?
What? Luxor is just a guy.
No,
He's
we
just one
got
of the,
no idea.
Do you not remember, though?
He's one of the guards from back in the day.
Do you not? No, he wasn't.
We don't know who his
Nobody
He wasn't, and if you recall, he was one of the ones alongside Demyx,
One of the
Marluxia,
chosen
and
ones.
Larxene, who was listed as people with connection to the ancient KeYbLaDe War.
Oh, I thought So Demyx,
Marluxia, Larxene, and Luxord.
So we don't
So
know
we
who
know about
Demyx
Larxene.
and we know Larxene and
We know about
Marluxia.
Marluxia.
We'll get to Demyx later. So this is, of course, the conclusion of the KeYbLaDe War. Like I mentioned way at the start, this takes place with Sora opening the portal, going off to find Kairi. I'm chuckling because I've absolutely written this joke about 10 billion times in this script today. Mickey tries to stop Sora from going on his journey, but Riku holds his boyfriend back, saying, you know, we need to trust Sora. Because let's be real, Riku and Mickey are absolutely canonically dating. There is no doubt in my mind.
Wait, so
100%.
Not comfortable with that age gap.
you don't ship Riku and Sora, you ship Riku and Mickey.
1,000,000% yes.
Oh, no, I don't like that.
1,000,000,000% absolute. Especially, there are scenes in Remind where, like, it's like constantly, like, any time that, like, Riku's in danger, Mickey's like, my boy! And he, like, tries to leap for it. There's, like, scenes in Remind where it's very, and I'm pretty sure I've cut scenes. Like, there's really weird scenes of, like, Riku holding Mickey in, like, a passionate embrace.
There's Mickey's really playing into the stereotype of a man with a lot of power here, going for a much younger boy. I don't like this.
that.
I don't like it either.
Like that, don't you?
We're gonna move swiftly along from that joke. Nope. Anyhow, hush both of you, you creepy people.
I'm saying you're being creepy.
Mine was a casual ship. You made it creepy. But, anyhow, we next move. So, Sora leaves off on his mission, and we switch scenes to a desert in the KeYbLaDe graveyard. This desert's where, like, most of Remind takes place. We love the desert. Cool. Where we see a hooded Roby sat on a rock as another hooded Roby comes to join them.
Oh.
Who lowers their hood, revealing young Xehanort. We've seen this scene.
This is the Dark Road scene.
This is the scene from Dark
This
Road.
happens during the KeYbLaDe. What?
No.
This is a flashback.
So this is a flashback.
Oh, okay.
But it is word for word the exact same scene from Dark Road, so I'm not going to repeat it.
Cool.
But
Well,
it's the one where, just to summarize, Master of Masters Xehanort had met the Master of Masters in the desert. Master of Masters gave him a coat. He's like, yo, this coat better protecting you from darkness than the KeYbLaDe armor. Also, you should totally go out and, like, look at the hearts of people. You know, I think they got some fake light in there, you know, ooh, spooky fake light. And Xehanort goes out.
And does he not finish off by saying, and dude, try and keep the coats just an us thing. I don't want it to be like everyone's wearing them. Like, it's not a fashion thing. It's just for us.
Don't give him the 13 versions of yourself. Don't do that, please. Please don't do that.
Also, all of their, like, nobody friends.
Yes.
I'm the Master of Masters. I'm not a fascist. I'm just a silly, goofy guy. Please don't make this like a uniform. I don't
Definitely
want
won't
that to be-
sacrifice a whole world to start a new one.
Yeah.
But no, so he sends him off, and then this is the follow-up scene in which Xehanort returns, and he's like, yo, you right, man. Darkness should rule everything. Which is like, the big gap that Dark Road was missing is what happened in the interim there.
This is my
That's what I
problem.
thought it would do.
This is what we wanted it to do as well. Is that by the end? Okay, so I don't Dark Road, right? Number one is what we learned from Union Cross is that Master of Masters is a big old light dick. He loves his light. He wants light to bathe the world and eradicate darkness for good. No darkness whatsoever. Xehanort's whole deal is balance. Must be, the light's ruled for 1,000,000 years and it must be darkness now. Am I correct in following that?
Yes, yeah. So he wants the natural order of the world to like have darkness ruling, but like because he thinks that like there is light, but light is all fake because light is just darkness in disguise kind of thing.
And this is my problem with Dark Road. This is my big problem with Dark Road is I don't get that by the end of Dark Road.
No.
Xehanort has just watched all of his friends die and be turned
still-
against each other because of darkness.
He do-
Why
he-
don't
he
you
doesn't-
resent that?
He doesn't become Xehanort.
Because
He doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Baldur told him that they were alike. And that's
yeah.
if
You
you
know,
can't
if-
tell the sarcasm in my voice, I don't think it's a good twit.
If a robot killed all of my friends, became a robot, and killed everybody, I
Yeah.
feel like I would hate robots, not be aligned with robots. You know what I mean?
It's very weird where it's like that happens, then he goes off and he meets the master following that. Suddenly he gets back from this and he's like, oh my gosh, darkness rules. And then the next scene that we see him in is him telling Ericus that he's gonna form Kingdom Hearts. And we're sat there as viewers like, bro, wasn't that like the plot that you stopped like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Because you said it was a bad thing?
Yeah.
Like what changed? And we never see what changed. And it's Dark Road irks me, but we're not gonna dwell on that.
I'm glad we are all three of us quite aligned on this. And luckily the comments seem to be quite aligned on that too. I thought this would be
Dark
a weird
Road,
take.
I enjoy it as like a playing experience. It just didn't answer any of the questions I wanted it to. Is why it irks me.
Yeah.
Because it's like it. Anyway, we're not going to dwell on it. So the same scene this time in glorious 3D and with voice acting. We get to hear our silly goofy guy back with his fun thing. I've also put it out if anybody wants to see this exact scene word for word because I pretty much said it verbatim. It's at 1 hour, 43 minutes, and 9 seconds in our Dark Road critique. Go listen to that one.
Fantastic.
Monty put a timestamp. The one kind of big difference is, not big difference, but fleshed out thing that we get by seeing it actually animated is when Xehanort asks the Master of Master's name. Again, we get the same pause. They're not going to let us know his name. He's a silly, goofy, mysterious guy. But I will say that Xehanort gives kind of a look of being surprised.
Oh, so we
Almost like he potentially recognizes the name.
Oh.
It's not further explored, but I'd just like to put it out there that potentially Xehanort did recognize the name.
Wait, as in Master again, Sid?
Anyway, we then jump with Monty's favorite 75 years to the future.
Yay.
Time for some time jumps where we see Kingdom Hearts 3 Old Man Xehanort in the exact same spot here, this time with Xigbar and Sayax, telling them of this fated encounter of the past. So that scene was just him reminiscing on
The Master
the past,
scene. Okay.
on the Master Master scene. So basically he says that the Master Master set him on his path. It's only because of that meeting that he went down the Dark Road and became who he is today. So I guess that we could have summarized the whole of Dark Road in this one cutscene and not had Dark Road.
Brilliant.
I feel like also because we didn't acknowledge it too much in Dark Road itself, but we learn why he's bald in Dark Road, which is that he shaves his head. So, but also the now that we see him in 3D, that is not as somebody with a shaved head. There's a tease as to what I look like. When you shave your head, it does not look like Xehanort's head, where there's no hair whatsoever. You need to wax that to get it all off.
Well,
Yeah, he's got a guide for that.
One, I'd like to be very clear that when he says this, it's very much said in jest. It's not meant to be taken like, this is a serious thing. Also, it's implied that it wasn't that he shaved it, it was that just the strenuous effort of fighting for the dark made him lose his hair.
No, you're wrong. He
I'm not
shaves
wrong.
and waxes
He
his
does
head.
not shave and
He
wax.
does. It must
He-
be shiny and veiny.
He goes once a week.
Yeah, I do really hate how you can definitely see the veins on his bald head.
He's had a rough paper round if you look at him.
I do have a note here. God fucking damn it, Master of Masters, why do you keep screwing things up? It's your fault that the whole Kingdom Hearts series, which this is kind of how I'd like to think of Remind is Kingdom Hearts 3 is Kingdom Hearts 3 from like a Phase 1 lens.
Right.
Remind is Kingdom Hearts 3 from a Phase 2 lens.
Okay. Yeah.
Where we see that, oh, it was never Xehanort the whole time. It was the Master of Masters who caused the entirety of every game we've seen up to this point.
Can you imagine? You've played all the console titles, you've never watched back cover, you never played Union Cross. You're playing this going, oh, I wonder how Sora comes back or whatever. And what you see is a scene where he's sitting with just a random hooded figure as a young boy.
To be fair, there are a lot of random hooded figures throughout this series.
But he's like, what's a lost master?
Yeah.
I'm more so when they get to, you know, the scene with Lushu at the end, he's like, I'm Lushu, and everybody's like, who's Lushu? Is this meant to be significant? Meanwhile, the fanboys in the back like, watch back cover! But it's also important to note here that he does specifically say that he doesn't actually know who the man was, and perhaps he never will. Implying that, you know, either he didn't believe the Master of Masters was a Lost Master, or he never looked into the Lost Masters, but that's then countered by other things. So I feel like he's just lying here.
He's got to be, right?
Because also, the Master told him his name.
Well, did he?
Well, go give him my name.
Could have said something else.
He does say, like, you could call me Keith or Kevin. Or
I would, this is absolutely me headcanoning, but you know how in Dark Road, when we get his name, it's just like a line? In this, it's a brilliant flash of light. Instead of, as he pauses, and I'd like to say that he said his name was Light, as opposed to Darkness saying his name was Darkness. And I'm really amused for when he removes his hat and it's just like a cloud of light.
What a show-off.
So he then fully moves on. He's like, by the way, you should probably know why I called you here.
Who's he saying this to?
So Xigbar and Sayax are with him.
Right.
So some of the few remaining. And Lushu's like, well, without Sora, we're down a vessel. There's only 12 remaining. So we need 12 more vessels, and only 3 of us are here. Where's, you know, the other 9 plus a Sora replacement?
We had so many backups.
And he's also like, yo, by the way, did all the other U's make it back to their time? Which kind of implies that this scene is taking place between Dream Drop and Kingdom Hearts 3. So, like, right after all of the time-traveling Xehanorts went back to their times, and Sora yeeted everybody else. So basically, these 3 are the last ones left.
What's happening gameplay-wise over this DLC? Because we're just leaping times here a lot. What are we doing?
If I remember right, the DLC starts after you beat the game, and then we just get some cutscenes and then go back into gameplay. If I remember right, either that or it starts when you get to the KeYbLaDe graveyard.
Oh, so we're not playing the game yet?
No, this is cutscenes.
We're still very early. Sorry. Okay.
This is
We're still on page 1.
So yeah, so this is presumably between Dream Drop Days and Kingdom Hearts 3, and they're chatting like, we need some more things. So just to flesh it out, obviously we know all this, but just to recap. They jump back up onto their favorite pillars, you know, our favorite desert pillars that replace the much nicer chairs they had. I feel like if your boss was like, you had these very nice thrones in our throne room, but now I like the desert. That throne room was my younger self's favorite. I like the desert, and we're gonna stand on pillars.
Can we say it?
We're standing on pillars.
I can't hear you. We're quite far apart. I'm gonna sit.
But anyway, Sayax is like, well, Marluxia, Larxene, and Luxord, they're still somewhere. Larxene and Marluxia, they're looking for the new 7 Hearts of Light. Ooh! And Luxord is looking for the box that Xigbar told him to. Nobody questions that.
Why doesn't Xehanort question that?
Xehanort just kind of like looks and he's like, haha. And Zigbar's like, nah, don't worry about that, fam. You know, it's not gonna help us right now, but you know, it will in the long run. That's all you need now.
Xehanort in his dying moments is like, wait a minute, that box.
They just leave it.
What was the deal with that?
They just leave it at that.
Sorry, very quickly, can you remind me, because Union Cross was quite long, was Lushu aware of who Xehanort was in the world that was before? They obviously didn't meet because Xehanort didn't know who.
What do you mean in the world that was
in the Union Cross in Key?
Did Lushu know? Presumably no, because Lushu doesn't know what's in the Book of Prophecies.
Yeah, I'm just curious about how much Lucia's looking at him and reminiscing about when he was a kid.
I'm sure that Luciu has suspicions that the Master of Masters has his fingers in this Xehanort-shaped pie.
But we know that Luciu was hanging about with Xehanort back in the day anyway, because Luciu was braggy. They went on a whole adventure together.
Oh shit, so they
That's
did.
true.
Oh, Monty!
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whoa!
Guys, you don't spend 20 hours at it in Dark Road to not pick up on the lore.
Oh my god, so yeah, literally, and assumedly, if the fan theories are correct and Missing Link featuring Chontil and Brain takes place during, oh my god, it literally means that Luciu's been stalking Xehanort around since he was a baby. Anyhow, Saïx goes on, he's like, Ansem, Xemnas, Venitus, Repliku, young Xehanort, they all went back to their own times, they're seeking Guardians of Light, and that makes 11 people. Woo!
Yeah.
And Xehanort's like, yes, but I need to discuss why I gathered you here. And they're like, isn't that what we're already talking about? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, so he sent his vessels from the past, to which he transferred his heart into, are destroyed, and that's why he's back in Old Man Xehanort. They're starting to explain why he's Old Man Xehanort, not Terranort.
Oh!
Cool, yeah.
And I hate that the answer makes sense. So, as we recall,
How's he written his way out of this one?
well, so as we recall, when he took over Terra's body, his heart just kind of resided in the Terra vessel. But that wasn't his heart's form. That was just a form that he was residing in. So then he turned himself into, Ansem and Xemnas. And when it recompletes, well, he doesn't come back to the body. He comes back to, it's just his heart. And then his heart's going to regrow its form, which is his original form. But also, that leaves an empty Terra body. So he could have jumped back into the Terra body. But he's like, oh, or I could Nort the Terra body. And so he's got him in his old man body and a Norted zombie Terranort.
Right.
I have a million
No,
questions,
don't.
but we're only on page 1, so all I'm going to say is snort the Nort and move on.
Snort the North t-shirts coming soon.
He's also he's also like, also Terra's heart is probably somewhere. I don't know where it is. We should probably look into that.
I love your characterization of Xehanort.
It's so good.
Am I absolutely stealing Barry's Xehanort voice? Yes. Sorry, Barry. Please watch our show. But yeah. So that he sprinkles old Nort and zombie Terranort, and that's 12 people. Woo!
We did it.
They then go on to say how, Vexen made 20 replicas. The first 12 are prototypes, kind of garbage. Then Repliku and Xion, who they call Number I, because nobody knows who Xion is. And Zigbar's like, Number I, meaning doesn't exist. Haha, how clever.
Stupid. Just give her a number.
So that's 14. That's 14. Then 5 are going to the spooky time-traveling ghost Xehanorts, and then there's 1 left. And they're like, what was it going to go to? Well, maybe that's the last one. And, Saïx is like, well, Vexen and Demyx are technically about, but they're kind of, the worst, and we don't really want them. It's like, at best, they're backups. At best.
So as a reminder, how many members of Organization 13
I
are
think
there?
15, 16.
15, 16? Yeah, we've had this.
Bear in mind, this is the real organization.
They're
you're
about.
right, yeah.
They're still looking for the Sora replacement. The Sora replacement, who apparently needs to be Sora for some reason. They're like, oh, because it needs to be Sora, it should be somebody with a heart close to Sora. So Number I it is, because she was made of Sora's memories from Kairi's heart when nominate yada yada yada.
It's so all of this is so we don't need this explained. We don't need this.
This is sort of him just having to recap how convoluted things are for our benefit and for his teams.
Plus, Kingdom Hearts 3's over, man. We were happy with it. Let's move. Well, some people weren't
So
happy, I guess.
they just appear to go do their own shenanigans, and Xehanort looks over the desert. He's like, may your heart be your guiding key. Ha 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 ha.
Good.
Anyway, finally coming back to our good old Sore boy.
Oh, thank Christ.
Hey!
We are 45 minutes deep.
Ghost boy, ghost boy.
Oh, he's not Ghost Boy yet. So he's chilling in the final world where he finds Chirithy.
Oh.
And we can give a bigger awe because now you know what a Chirithy actually is.
But we still don't know who's Chirithy.
Yeah, because
We do know who's Chirithy.
Oh, of course.
It's Ben's Chirithy.
Ben's, yeah.
because it's his
Remember
heart.
from the end of
Oh.
Kingdom Hearts 3, we see it's Venitus Chirthy.
Oh, God. Oh,
Yeah, it's
ow.
Venitus Chirthy.
Oh, that
Oh, and it hurts now.
It does.
Now you know why I was crying when we read that bit. And you two kind of sat there like, why are you crying? Chirthy's like, why are you back? Did you die again, bro?
We just
Like,
did this.
we're literally in heaven. Did you die a second time? And he's like, no, bro. I'm gonna find Kairi. And Chirthy's like, dumbass, didn't we already talk about this? Power of waking, not meant to bring people back to from the dead. We already talked about this. Stop doing this. And Sora's like, no. It's fine. She's definitely not dead. Her heart's just, somewhere. I'm just going to find her heart.
Probably sleeping.
She's definitely not dead. And Chirthy's like, fine. But, you did already restore 6 hearts. That's like major taboo. You're only meant to wake up sleeping hearts, not dead ones. God damn it, you changed history. You're breaking taboos. Stop this. And then he goes on to actually, you know how we said there were going to be punishments for that?
Yeah.
So he goes on to actually tell Sora what the punishments are.
Ooh, okay.
So one is that he's going to lose all of his powers, including and especially the power of waking.
good.
So he's reset for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Well, but kind of with the implication that unlike Kingdom Hearts 3, he won't be able to get them back.
Right.
Oh.
He's losing them for
So it's like,
good.
Sora, you're going to forget how to do Faraga, but you're not going to be able to learn Faraga in Kingdom Hearts 4, Sora. That's kind of what it's saying.
It's implied,
Oh, interesting.
which actually kind of makes me question whether we'll play as Sora in Kingdom Hearts 4.
No.
We'll get to
What?
that.
Okay,
We'll get to that
okay.
later. So, he's going to do that, and then, of course, as we know, he's going to vanish from this world, but without his powers, he's not going to be able to come back. So this banishment's going to be permanent because he doesn't have his powers.
And is he saying this is what's going to happen if you get Kairi back? Is this a very direct?
Or is this is already about to happen?
He's like, you've already set the motion for this, Kairi.
Who's enforcing this?
God.
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 Sora has angered God.
Kingdom Hearts, right?
God. The Master of Masters who, like we said last game, is potentially God, maybe? Question mark? But Sora's like, nah, man, I'm letting my heart be my guiding key. Fuck the consequences.
Sora,
Whoa. I'm too cool. And Chirthy's like...
That's not what Sora would say.
And Chirthy's like, well, damn, I guess it's goodbye for good then, bye. So,
Enjoy Tokyo.
So listen up. Just so you know, you get one more chance. One more go around on this. No. My point being, you get one more ride. On the merry-go-round. There's no more redos after this. There's no more time traveling. This is the last time you get to time travel.
Why are the rules that you can do it a few times? Like you're allowed to do it a few times.
Everybody gets 3. Or 6, or however many it is.
This is too many taboos. God is mad.
I'm hopeful that this means we will never time travel again. And this is no more drawing a line under the time travel.
That's cute. That's cute. Because no. Because time traveling isn't taboo. Time traveling to change history is taboo. Duh, you silly.
Okay, which implies then that you can change history. History can.
It does imply, yes.
Okay.
But it also implies that nobody else who went back in time changed history.
Exactly.
Well, we wouldn't know, would we?
Yeah, but God would have banished them.
Maleficent would have been banished.
Xehanort's too cool, and God is scared of him.
Oh, actually, you're right. And also Xehanort, the memory wipe, right? They got their memories wiped, so history didn't get changed.
Exactly.
And, yeah. But Maleficent should be... Well, Maleficent went to a data world.
world.
Nothing
Damn
happens.
it.
Nothing matters in
Damn
data
it,
world, so it's fine. Yeah.
it's
Good
fine.
on data world.
And also, was she predetermined to come there? What's
Oh,
predeterminism?
just kill me now.
So Chirthy's like, I let's set ground rules for the DLC, bro. You are
Oh
gonna
God,
go
we haven't
back.
started.
Chirthy's like, you're gonna go back to the point in which you created the Terran time. So when all your fam died. That's where we're going back to. Where you used it for the first time. And from there, you need to travel through the hearts of the Guardians of Light in order to reach Kairi. That's your roadmap.
Back to the Future.
You gotta dive deep in those hearts, get all into them emotions, and uncover the truths. Woo!
I love how Chirthy's like, you mustn't do this thing. You are in deep trouble. You mustn't do this thing.
how to do it.
Okay, here's how to do this thing.
So, yeah. Also, the last thing is that, not only do you only get this last time to time travel, you have from then until the end of the game. So you have from the time that you did the first loop until the time that he traveled here, so at the very end of the KeYbLaDe War. If you don't find Kairi's heart by then, that's time up. You dead, son.
Okay.
They're not animating extra cutscenes after that. The budget has run out.
Oh, so Sora's like is his last thing before he passes on.
Basically, yeah.
This is
It's
cool.
his final
Okay.
hero sacrifice.
Until the next one.
Until
Until he gets to
Tokyo. Until we go to Tokyo. So we travel back in time. And we see Venitus. And I've put this very amusing because Chirithy's little speech here is overlaying as we come back to this scene. And it finishes off with Chirithy saying to let your heart be your guiding key. Literally as Xehanort like just yeets Venitus right in the stomach with a keyblade. And Venitus is just getting chucked back.
Remind me, Terranort
Xehanort.
has that looks like no name. Terranort has no name. Have we established
Yes.
this before? Terranort is carrying no name.
Xehanort has
Xehanort
no
has no name.
Xehanort has no name.
Young Xehanort does not have no
Young
name.
Xehanort has like the time travel no name.
Oh, he does. That's a really cool keyblade.
What do Ansem and Xemnas have again at this point?
Ansem and Xemnas don't have keyblades. They have
Oh,
their
they have
own
laser
weapons.
swords. Xemnas has laser swords.
Xemnas has lightsabers.
Yeah.
But if no name informs the Book of Prophecies, is that not like an aneurysm for the Master of Masters to write down?
Probably.
Over here, this is happening, and I think this is happening.
They just hit a boy.
It needs to be rhyme form.
This all needs to be in iambic pentameter. Ventus gets chucked forward, and as he does, Sora appears in his ghost form right there, and Ven flies through Ghost Sora. And as he does, Sora's heart connects, and he dives to Ventus's heart platform.
Right.
Many things happen in very quick succession, and we start off in Ventus's heart platform.
Is this is the start of the gameplay?
Yes.
Yes, it always.
God.
Well, technically no.
It's
We're
fine. It's
technically no. We're still in cutscenes.
Wow.
This is all still cutscenes.
This is just a cutscene compilation so far. I thought there was gameplay here.
There will be.
Okay.
There's, if I'm honest, all of the best bosses in Kingdom Hearts 3 are in here.
Wow.
Son's the final Xehanort fight, which is one of the best fights in the series. So yeah, so he dives to Ven's heart platform and he's like calling out, but a voice comes and he's like, no, bro, let Ven be. Let Ven be. His heart's too pure. It's gonna be careless, Don't do that. And Sora's like, who are you? And the voice is like, haha, darkness.
Oh no.
With a capital D.
With a capital D!
Wait, so
One
hold
of
on.
the 13.
One of the 13 is still inside Ven's heart? Like, just hiding there? How else would it be
Seemingly.
in there? Oh no.
Seemingly.
Oh, but how did Xehanort not get it all? When
So-
he sucked it all out.
This kind of brought questions in because I think that everybody thought that Venitus was the whole darkness, but then other people were like, well, darkness is formless, Venitus is a form. So one of the running theories is that Venitus is like most of the primordial darkness, but he didn't get all of it when he scooped the darkness out.
Right.
So primordial darkness is still kind of hiding then, but it's also Venitus.
I'm gonna be honest, I fully zoned out the last couple of minutes you guys were talking. I'm so sorry.
Primordial darkness is inside Ven's heart, potentially. It's a capital
Potentially,
D.
yes. Still
Okay.
there, chilling. Anyway, Sora's like, are you Venitus? And it doesn't answer. And it
You're my
doesn't
friend.
and it doesn't answer, and like a dark whirlpool flows out of Ven's heart platform, swallows Sora, and brings him back to the desert where he fights a Dark Inferno boss. And there's the start of the gameplay. We start right into it with a boss fight.
What's a Dark Inferno? Just a heart.
It's like a big demon.
We're 1 hour
that's
in,
fine.
by the way.
Big demon heartless.
Yeah, we're all right. Don't worry. I will be cutting bits. We are interrupting more than ever, I think, with
Yeah.
this. And I think it's because a lot of it requires recap, so we are triple checking
Well,
things.
as the game says, you need to remind yourself of all the nonsense we've had in the past.
Yes. So continue, Chase. So the gameplay has begun.
Gameplay's begun. I'm gonna be real. There's a lot in Remind that feels like it's there for visual spectacle, and you're not meant to think about it.
Cool.
I think this is part of that.
That's fine.
Anyway, we return to the time as Donald's doing his Zeta Flare, which I don't know if we ever mentioned on the podcast, that Donald is one of only 3 characters in the entirety of Final Fantasy canon.
Yeah.
Donald is a literal fire god. What is this? So, yeah, everybody's almost dead. And as Aqua's like, Ven's knocked down and Aqua's over him, she's like, Ven! Sora's like, oh my gosh, Aqua emotions. Heart connect. Go.
Yay, grief!
He's zipping around the battlefield through hearts,
Yes.
essentially. Trying to get to Kairi, is that his
Yes.
goal? Cool. I
Yeah,
kind of like
it is
this.
cool. It
This
is
is a really
cool.
cool
How's
concept.
Aqua getting on? I like Aqua. We've not heard about Aqua in a
so,
long time.
well, I mean, keep in mind, this is events we've already seen. So
Yeah,
this
of
is
course,
like
yeah.
the battle, and he's like, oh my gosh,
I'm just checking.
Aqua's sad. That sounds like a latching on point to the grief. So back in reality, our fun little dark tornado is forming. We get a zoom in on Aqua's face as she's like looking up at the darkness, like massive fear in her eyes. As we can see that through her eyes, she's seeing it as a bunch of like dark aquas flying around.
Oh gosh, I really hope we get another another Aqua game in the
I
future
really
because
like Aqua.
constantly she comes out.
The
with
most
being, like, really
badass
cool.
thing that I think anyone has done is the years she spent in the darkness.
100%,
Like,
yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, 100%.
So yeah, she sees like this whole thing, like it's dark aquas. They're flying around. And
Oh,
Sora's like,
weird.
oh my gosh, she's so scared. Wow.
She's so traumatized.
That sounds like a way to connect to her heart. And he dives to her heart and then he fights Dark Aqua in the ocean of the dark realm. Cool.
Do you think anyone would feel at all sort of emotionally violated if when Sora eventually comes back, he's recounting the story and he goes, yeah, and I was in your heart, I was using some of your trauma, by the way. It was grand, I nipped around in there, I saw your deepest, darkest fears, and I saw your sexual perversions, you weirdo.
You weird little mouse.
Thinking about Riku like that.
Stop this.
You started it.
Mine was sweet and romantic. Anyway, anyhow. So, we come back to the battlefield and Sora watches Kairi get gobbled up by the tornado. And he retreats into his own heart and he's like, oh my gosh. So we keep seeing him kind of in his own heart a bunch through this. It's kind of like his default place. Cool. I guess we keep seeing him in there. And guess who else is in there? It's Naminé.
Oh.
Why is she in his heart?
Well, he's like,
In Aqua.
why are you here? And she's like, well, I can't actually go to Kairi's heart yet. And I haven't been there since Kingdom Hearts 2, actually.
Oh.
I was never able to go there. But don't worry, I'm making myself useful. And I called out to Lingering Will. That's why Lingering Will came to help you in the last game, is because I was here and I called out.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
One heart, one sky. Or one sky, one heart. I forget what you said. I hated it at the time. I've come around to appreciate it a little bit.
One podcast, 3 twats.
But anyway, she's like, don't worry, bro. I helped. And then we come back to the part where Lingering Will comes and blocks Xehanort from killing Aqua. And we get an extension of that as they fly up into the sky as big balls of light. We get like, you know how like in Dragon Ball you'll get like the fights where they're like balls of light, they're just kind of like whipping each other and it's like a bunch of lines in the sky.
Yeah,
You're like, woo!
yeah.
And it's
Love
like,
Dragon Ball, man.
So it's-
Have you seen the new movie? It's really good.
I heard that.
Yeah.
we're
It's
not
really
going on a
good.
Dragon Ball tirade. They're doing that.
It's just become a
And
thing.
they very conveniently fly off to a different part of the desert, which coincidentally is over near the thrones, I guess, just because they didn't want to reanimate parts, I guess.
Sure.
Sora sees the fight from inside his heart, and he's like, Naminé, call out to Terra. And she's like, no, bro, I can't. Sorry, bro. And he's like, oh, fine. Then go away. I don't want you here. Go to the final world and hang out there.
That's not a very nice thing for a nice little light boy to do.
Get out of my heart. I've got this. And then Sora teleports through the floor and appears in the middle of the fight with the Lingering Will and Xehanort.
This sounds like someone having a stroke. I'm sorry.
No, like literally, they're there, and then like a portal forms in the floor at Lingering Will's feet, and Sora just kind of flies through it, and he's like, "I'm here."
I take it all back.
I-
I've missed Sora, man.
I still think Lingering Will is one of the coolest concepts in the game. I'm not sorry about that. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess such a cool idea.
Just a heart in armor.
I mean, it's cool, but it's not as cool as Sora appearing through the floor. And
Disagree.
Xehanort's like, "How the hell are you here?" And Sora's like, "Haha."
Wait, you can see him?
Yeah.
I thought he was a ghost boy.
Well, he is a ghost boy, but sometimes he can be not a ghost boy. He's like Danny Phantom.
Sure.
Just to be very clear, when we see Ghost, so normally Sora is hanging out in his own, like, past self's heart.
Oh, of course, because that's how.
So, yeah, whenever he's in, like, the Sora heart, it's his past self's heart. And
Obviously.
so anytime we
Keep
see
up.
him, anytime we see him as, like, Ghost Sora, it's because he's in somebody's heart and we're just seeing, like, a vision of him.
Yeah. Right.
Like, alongside. But he can, he is just a time-traveling boy, and he can pop out and suddenly be his own little boy.
I don't know anything about
For
any
a boss
boys.
fight. So he pops out and he's like, haha, do you think you're the only one who knows how to time travel, you silly little Xehanort? And Xehanort's like, no, how dare you? Ah! Yeah, so, the three of them get a fight, and then the Lingering Will dies. Bye-bye.
Does the Lingering Will die?
Well, it kind of like blocks an attack, saves Sora, and then it kind of just crumbles into a piece of broken armor.
Does that happen in Kingdom Hearts 3? I don't remember that.
No, in Kingdom Hearts 3, we see Lingering Will fight it, and then we don't see anything.
Oh,
and then suddenly Xehanort appears later.
Oh, that is sad. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Because that thing's just been kicking about on its own for ages.
Fighting forever. It's like Berserk. You guys haven't read Berserk. It's like Berserk. It's like
Is that the Keanu Reeves thing?
No.
What's that?
It's the manga.
It's a manga.
It's a manga. I will lend it to you. Or one day, you know what? We might just break our rule and I might just walk you through a Berserk lore dump.
Anyhow!
It's amazing, by the way. Sorry.
You have a boss fight versus Xehanort. And then Xehanort grabs you with the dark figure, and he's like, oh, you're gonna die, and he blasts like a Kamehameha of darkness at you, and then the cutscene ends, and we're back in gameplay, and we are literally back in the part where we go down the maze corridor and go help Riku. Suddenly we're just back in gameplay.
Any explanation for that?
I think it's meant to be that, we've returned to like past Sora. We're not time traveling Sora, we're just past Sora. Because we do through this replay the entire final segment of Kingdom Hearts 3.
The best part.
The whole bit in the maze. We do replay that whole bit.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, so he goes off to help Riku in his fight against Repliku and Xigbar. The exact same boss fights happen. Xigbar falls off a cliff, Ansem runs away, and Dark Riku steals Repliku's heart, leaving Riku with a spare replica body.
Yes.
Nice. But there's new content here. So after Dark Riku flies away with Repliku's screaming soul, as he leaves the replica body, suddenly a portal opens, and Demyx comes out.
Oh, great. He's joined the fight.
And he's like, oh my gosh, hi Riku, we're pals now. Don't worry, I'm not here to fight, I'm kind of on your side. Look, I have a cell phone to prove it.
And for anyone listening along, Demyx is saying, see, all the cool kids have one, right?
While he points to his cell phone.
We are going to talk about this later.
What I love about this, I'm sorry to interrupt, Monty, to describe the cell phone again for anyone listening along, it's a sort of, it's a very blocky sort of, it's still rectangular, but a little more sort of square shaped than you'd expect from a cell phone. Yes. However, it is in a Mickey Mouse kingdom skin in a sort of wallet, which is obviously separate, which means that Mickey is not creating the phones to be Mickey branded. They're selling various sort of cases for the phone. And does that mean Demyx chose the Mickey case?
No, they all have Mickey cases.
Every single one.
Every one, because they get them from Chip and Dale, who are the royal engineers for Mickey. So yeah.
So sorry, very, very quickly though. So Demyx, right? So
Demyx.
I know that we're going to get to this because we're going to talk theories at the end.
Well, no, this is actually where I was going to get to this.
Perfect. Be my guest.
So anyway, he's like, look, I've got a cell phone. I'm cool. I'm just here to pick up the body. Don't worry about it. I heard a rumor. I was sent off on a mission to find a replica. And, I heard a rumor there'd be one here. And Demyx is like, don't worry. I've done this before. Haha. And then he leaves.
With a body.
This cutscene is a bit odd in that it doesn't really add anything to Kingdom Hearts 3.
It's just how Vexen gets a replica body.
And it's, so, because we see, Vexen sends Demyx off, and the next time we see Demyx in the original Kingdom Hearts 3 is when he appears into the castle while Ienzo and all them are like, we need a body for Roxas. So this scene wasn't really needed. But I feel like there's like minute clues that lean into the Demyx theories. Namely the fact that Demyx is like, oh, I heard a rumor. I knew there was going to be a body here. Also, I've done this before with bodies and body shenanigans. The running theory as to how Demyx is connected to the ancient KeYbLaDe War is that Demyx is the master of masters. Because, so...
Is that the only clue?
No!
What are the other clues? Because that is not a good clue.
There are literally like half-hour videos on YouTube that like break it down better than I could.
Okay.
There are an obnoxious number of clues.
Because I thought the clue... So for context, having read all of your comments, and again, once again, thank you for the comments. I knew that this was a running theory. I did not know why this is a running theory. And my takeaway was, well, Demyx is a silly, goofy guy, and the Master of Masters is a silly, goofy guy.
So that's one of it. And the theory was there prior to this. The theory was there, I think, even before Kingdom Hearts 3 was about. And they kind of just keep adding fuel to the fire. And I think that's the only reason the scene is here, is just to kind of add more fuel to the fire. Because it doesn't add anything other than that. But things like, why do you know it was here? Is it maybe because he knew a book of prophecies? Because his KeYbLaDe was here in this war and he knew there would be a replica body?
The biggest loser in Organization 13.
Well, but keep in mind, one, yes, Silly Goofy Guy is, they're the only two characters in the entire series who are very gestational. Body language is very important in Kingdom Hearts. Things like how you can always recognize the Master of Masters in a standing pose because he always has his hands behind his back. So body language is very important in Kingdom Hearts.
Do we see Demyx do that?
Yes, constantly.
Oh, that's interesting.
They always have their very gestating arms. They're very silly, goofy guy, and they're very, expressive and emotive. He's constantly talking about, oh, I'm a scaredy cat, which is very reminiscent of the Master of Masters being like, I never take my coat off because I'm just a little scaredy cat.
Shit.
There's a lot of pieces even beyond that kind of give weight to it. Now, I will say, personally, I'm not fully sold because we know canonically that during the point of this, the Master of Masters is in the fictional world. He told Darkness at the end of Union Cross, that's where I'm going when I disappear, and we know from the secret scene at the end that that is where he is. Again, we can know that it's him on the roof because he's standing there with his hands behind his back, body language. So we know he's there. Potentially, is there body hopping, double body shenanigans at work? Maybe. But
I mean, you can do anything you like.
That
and
is-
write it out.
it
can't
is... Yeah, so I'll just kind of leave it at that maybe Demyx is the Master of Masters, and that's why he was up on those pedestals as one of the people connected to the ancient KeYbLaDe War.
What I will say to that is, number one is, I hope not. I really, really hope not. Because I know that the joke is that Demyx is a loser, but Demyx is a loser, and it removes some fun from the Master of Masters to have him be this much of a loser.
The thing is, though, it would be the perfect place to hide in plain sight.
True, but also the idea that the Master of Masters is literally just dicking about during Kingdom Hearts. I much prefer he's in the fictional world.
Yeah, why is he involved in Organization 13?
I feel like if it comes to be, I think there are definitely ways that they could pull it off.
Surely Lucia would know. Surely he would recognize the mannerisms of his old master, the greatest being.
Maybe.
Well, you think? Okay, so we're going to talk about this later when we get to theories. I don't want to slow down the Remind DLC, but that is a bombshell that I hope is not true theory-wise.
I have mixed feelings. I'm not necessarily against it. I'm not necessarily for it. I'm on the fence. I would need to see how it is ultimately revealed and plays out in the long run to determine how I ultimately feel about it.
As is always the way, we call things on Kingdom Hearts as saying that is dumb, and then later we turn around and go, that was kind of fun actually. and hopefully this will be one
And
of
I
those
met,
things...
maybe the silly goofy guy cosplaying as a Muppet, maybe that could be quite fun. But to me it doesn't yet make sense with the fact that he's been here the whole time doing Organization 13 things.
So, Demyx off, and Sora shows up to help Sora beat down Xemnas, Marluxia, Larxene, and Luxord. Only noticing now that it's all of the Union Cross plot relevant ones that are right here in a group.
They don't acknowledge Union Cross at any point.
No.
They're not like, gosh, we've been doing this for 1,000,000 years.
No.
No? Okay.
No. But anyway,
would they?
it's all the same scenes, but now with extra context, I can revisit them. So as Marluxia dies, he comments how, now it's all coming back to me.
Oh god, no,
So they
this
don't
is
remember.
awful.
Well, so like Ven, presumably all the ones who time traveled lost their memories in the time travel.
Oh, that's sad.
Marluxia now.
Yeah, so, I mean, do you think Marluxia would have been doing all this? Because remember, that his whole life goal is to find Strelitzia. Why would he be doing this? That's not helping him find Strelitzia.
Because surely they would be anti-dark. Why would they help Mr. Darkman with his dark plan? Because they're all anti-dark back in Union Cross.
Lord.
So-
Yeah, exactly. So,
they've been twisted to literally help the thing they always swore against.
so-
God damn, I love Union Cross. I'm sorry.
It's
so good.
Yeah, so he's saying how his heart's remembering how to feel as he clearly remembers his past. And he tells Sora that he's on the cusp of reclaiming his identity, his purpose for being, which, is obviously him wanting to find cilantro. Yeah, so this is also where I want to talk. One of the comments brought up to me the fact that I didn't talk about this back during Union Cross, which is Marluxia's boss design. at the end of Union Cross. Does this ring any bells to you?
I mean, it sort of answer me.
Perhaps like a certain white hooded girl from Union Cross?
Oh, is that Streletsy, do you think?
Wow.
So there's a lot of references, and there's better videos on YouTube that break it down. I think Damo has a video, but it's things like how Loria made comments of he wanted her to be strong enough that she could carry him through battle.
Oh, wow.
As he rides on top.
Oh, wow.
The shade is obviously a nobody, which presumably would have been created when Strelitzia died. It's crying. It has twin tails.
Wow.
So there's potentially a nobody of Strelitzia running about.
Potentially this is the nobody of Strelitzia. Although, granted, I will say I do think that Strelitzia was designed with the original boss intention. I think that when probably when Chain of Memories came out, it was just intended to be a spooky Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
That later took more meaning. Anyway, coming back to where we were. So, obviously, Marluxia dies. Larxene also dies. And while she's there, she makes a comment about how she was just along for the ride. Which I feel like in context with Union Cross feels a lot more like
She was.
she was very much just along for the ride.
I forgot that she got sent to the future. That's how along for the ride she was.
Which also potentially, is this implying that she might know her past?
Potentially.
Because then when Sora asks, with who, she's like, it's my secret. Which I'm wondering if that implies that she knew her past. She didn't forget. But because her whole life goal was to help Laurium, she's sticking around with Laurium. They're still besties even in the organization. And she's sticking around with him so that she can help find Strelitzia. But she's waiting for him to recall his memories.
Of all the hair in Kingdom Hearts, hers baffles me most.
No.
I can sort of understand the Yu-Gi-Oh style hairs. That's fine. The effort it must take to ensure that two big strands of hair are gelled up and out the back is remarkable. I have a lot of respect for her. R.I.P.
I appreciate it.
At the risk of hyper-analyzing Larxene's look, but as you know, I love me some Larxene. Larxene's look is praying mantis-like, and surely that's the idea. She's very provocative. She's, like a female praying mantis.
I think you just read her as provocative.
She's provocative. Well, she's... Yeah,
Monty, you're reading too deep into it.
Okay.
Anyhow, we're moving on.
Larxene.
There is no horn on my podcast.
I'll get the spray bottle, 2 seconds.
So, with the next couple groups, we actually get, a bit of pre-Sora cut. So you know how every time it appears, Sora runs up, a group is fighting, and Sora comes and joins the fight.
Yes.
So the next group is the Wayfinders, and we actually get some before Sora shows up scenes.
Oh.
So Wayfinders there, Aqua and Ven are standing against Xehanort, who I have a note isn't dead from earlier? ?
Oh, yeah.
He just kind of reappears.
We're not supposed
Fine.
to question things.
Let's not question it.
And Venitus is also there.
Oh, great. Worst character.
And Ven's like, Terra! And Aqua's like, no, son, that isn't Terra. And Ven's like, I'm gonna call his name anyway. We gotta light his way home. And she's like, well, he's not in there, but okay. And Venitus is like, you're leaving me out here. I'm feeling a little sad. You're not gonna include me in the party. And Ven's like, you're coming home too. And he's like, what? Ven's like, wait, but if I am your home, and if you come here, you're gonna disappear. And Venitus is like, don't you have any love for your brother? And Ven's like, no, we're not the brothers. We're the same. And Venitus is like, ha 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 ha. No, we're not the same. For years, I've been hidden deep inside of you for a very long time.
Well, we knew that.
Well, we knew this.
Oh, okay.
We knew this. People who didn't play Union Cross didn't know this.
Ah, okay. Yeah, good point.
And Ven's like, he's like, I've been inside you for a very long time. All Xehanort did was pull me out. And Ven's like, well, go back where you came from then, you dick.
Well, back inside of me.
No, like wherever he came from originally, before he was inside him.
Go back to Union Cross, you dick.
Exactly. And
From inside.
And Terranot's like, well then, if it's darkness you want, I've got enough to go around. Ha ha ha. And Aqua's like, KeYbLaDe time. Which I will note, we can now know from Union Cross is the brain / Erica's KeYbLaDe.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate that that's a consistent through line.
Did I ever mention that the theory runs that just like Xehanort is Ericus's great-great-great-grandson, that Ericus's Brain's great-great-great-grandson.
You did.
Yeah,
mention that,
cool. Good. Yeah, so she's like pointing the Brain Keyblade at him, and she's like, enough games. And Terran was like, a Keyblade master using her key in anger? How shameful. And I'm like, my boy, we are literally in a war. What do you want her to use? Do you want her to fucking headbutt you to death?
I feel like a gun might be helpful at this point.
We're also at the point where, like, I feel everybody but Sora, even Sora does it. Everybody has used a Keyblade in anger at times. It's not really taboo at this point, is it?
not-
From Union Cross onwards. You know,
not-
the entire
it's
Keyblade
yeah,
war.
It's a very weird line.
You're not Jedi, you're just children in a war.
You have a fight against Venitus and Xehanort in which you play as Aqua! Yay! You're gonna play as Aqua and fight against Venitus and
She's
Xehanort.
OP and is great. Is she
Well,
OP?
no, as we discussed, we were annoyed that she wasn't OP enough because apparently the XP she got from fighting in the Dark World didn't carry over, if you remember.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah, so you win, and then it goes, after you win, it goes back to the original Kingdom Hearts 3 scene where Sora comes and joins. Yeah. Also, I'd like to just call attention to the fact that during this fight, Venitus rides a key wave, just like Sora does, which is potentially...
Does he play an electric guitar while he does it?
No, but as in, like, he does the same, like, Union Cross key wave that Sora does, which is probably tie back to that. Yeah, nothing really special to point out here, except maybe to point out that one of the lines from the original Kingdom Hearts 3 has a lot more weight now.
For anyone listening along, it's the line is because I am darkness from Venitus.
But not a capital D.
No. Don't be silly.
It's not a hard and fast rule at this point. That's just how we're interpreting it.
Yeah, but I feel like, I mean, if the theory goes that darkness is still in Venus' heart, this might not be a wholly complete capital D darkness. So, who knows?
He's not got that big D.
Guys, can you imagine if Venitus becomes the big bad of Phase 2? Like, all of the darkness.
Monty would check out.
All of the Venituses look like Sora.
We wouldn't be doing any more lore dump.
I'm still waiting for the Master of Masters to remove his hood, and it's just Sora. Anyway, whole dark figures Terra thing, fighty fight. Oh, and during this, Sora unlocks Terra's heart. Terra's heart comes out his body, but as Terra reclaims his body, Sora dives into the heart. New bit. Every single time he has this stupid, like, I'm coming for you dive pose. Very...
Arms outstretched, like, give me a hug, slow motion hug.
Literally. And we jump back to see that, remember that scene that I said ended really abruptly earlier?
Well, the lingering will scene.
Yeah. So as he was overcome by darkness, it turns out that he was actually saved by Terra's heart.
Aww, wee Terra looking out for his...
And that's kind of it. That's how Sora survived.
That's fine.
On to Lee and Kairi next. Like the Wayfinders, we get a nice little pre-Sora's arrival extra stuff. So Lee's asking who the +1 is. Of course, referring to who we obviously know as Xion. And Xemnas is like, oh, they have us. I don't know who they are, but they have a score to settle with you. And he's like, I don't know who this is. Nobody knows because they've been completely erased from memory and existence. They're a true nobody from the edge of
Who says that?
Xemnas.
Oh, yeah.
And Lee's like, cool, dope. Who are they, though? And Sykes just fully ignores him and looks at Kairi, and he's like, oh my gosh, using one of the new 7 hearts? Like, how desperate are you? And it's like, bitch, she's an OG. She ain't one of the new 7 hearts. Show some fucking respect. Xemnas then goes on to say how apparently 7 hearts still is a valid way to summon Kingdom Hearts. And I've got like 10 question marks after that.
Why?
And Sykes
That's not what it was anymore.
and we're not going to question it. We're just going to leave it there. Also, Sykes mentions Axel's name, and Xion goes, Axel?
I hate you,
And she's like, oh.
So what did she go like?
She goes like, Axel? Oh. So I guess that's cool. So Lee goes to fight her, and she pulls out her Keyblade, and they're like, oh my gosh, wait, that's Sora's Keyblade. And Lee's like, Roxas? And she's like, Roxas?
Nobody can see what he's doing, but it's very
He's
funny.
doing a very distressed dance.
So she's like responding to Axel and Roxas's names. And Sykes is like, no, it's not Roxas, Axel. And apparently hearing both of those names in one sentence is too much. It's too much because she freaks out and she's like, rushes Axel. But before she can strike, Kairi does a thing!
Yes! She actually hits someone with
Oh
a
my god! Kairi blocks it!
She's so far.
God damn it, Nomura. It took you 500 games, but we're finally here.
Kairi's finally done something relevant.
Oh my god, I'm desperately hoping they finally make Kairi a relevant character.
We too. We love Kairi.
Yes.
Oh.
She's got so much going for her.
She's got so much potential. Please, Nomura, let her live up to her potential.
Do a thing.
Also, she does notice in this moment that, it's a girl? What? Which, like, we know that.
She
Anyway.
looks like me, but with black hair?
So, Sora joins them, everything goes back to normal. Cut to the point where, you know how like, Lee's on the ground, his Keyblade's broken, Xion's about to attack him, to kill him, and then Sora blocks. And he calls out her name, and this is the part where she freaks out. And as he says her name, he makes another connection to his own heart,
Oh.
and we watch as light appears, expanding to show our sweet boy's heart.
It doesn't matter, even though we
listeners,
know this is coming. It's,
Listeners,
Our
we had
sweet boy.
we've just had Sora's pain glass of awakening, whatever it's called. We've just had his transform via light into showing our sweet boy Roxas.
But
the best.
yeah, it's very cool. It's like there's like a droplet of light, and it like expands out. It's like birds flying away until it reveals this one.
Very cool.
But yeah, so Sora watches as from Roxas's heart, memories of Xion escape, leaving and returning, which is what caused. If you remember that after Sora said her name in the original game, she kind of freaks out a bit.
Yeah.
As it seems like kind of in the way that characters who are recalling memories do. So this is how she got her memories back, is because they were released from Sora's heart via Roxas. So coming back into the heart, Sora tries to do his Keyblade thing and unlock it, but it doesn't work. And as he does, he hears Roxas calling out to him, and he's like, Sora, I need your help. And somehow that lets Sora unlock his heart now.
That's fine, yeah, as always with Roxas, we're willing to overlook the Kingdom Hearts bullshit. Bring him back.
And Sora's like, cool, wait for my signal. So we flash out, Roxas is back, cool shit. Roxas makes his point about how he needed a connection to return. And we flash back to inside his house where he fleshes out what he needed Sora's help with. He's like, there was something that me, Xion, and Lee lost, and I need it. It's the connection that bound our hearts. It's sea salt ice cream.
Is it actually?
No, of course it's not.
So I love that.
I'd like someone one day to have a Keyblade that was just a huge sea salt ice cream.
What I will pledge to
I'm
you
sure
both,
that the PC has a mod for that.
I will pledge to you both that when we get to Kingdom Hearts 4, not whatever the hell the mobile game is that we'll cover next,
Missing
but
Link.
Kingdom Hearts 4, Missing Link. When we get to Kingdom Hearts 4,
You'll
I
make her
promise
some
you,
sea salt ice
I
cream?
will either find a recipe or buy some.
Oh,
we'll have some
what a
sea salt
king.
ice cream. I
I would
promise
love that.
What a king.
Yes.
Besties for life. But
Yes. That's what your Patreon money is going towards.
Anyway, so he's like, this connection between our hearts, it's the last thing that's binding me to this world, you know. I need this connection. That's it. So back in the real world, they all do a fight. Kairi tries to do the thing again, but she's used up her quota of things that she's allowed to do for the day.
She gets two.
And Xemnas kind of like flicks away her Keyblade and grabs her in some dark bindings. Sora tries to help, but he gets dark binding too. And Xemnas is like, I'ma kill him. Watch me kill him. But as he's caught, Sora's like, oh my gosh. And ghost time traveling Sora jumps out of his past self's heart and into Roxas's heart.
Okay.
And we see them appear together as they fight together in a now you're playing as Roxas fight again with his dual Keyblades against Xemnas. And also Roxas's sad boy music is playing in the background the whole time.
Oh, the best theme. So Sora is fighting with Roxas in the boss fight, while other Sora is also Ghost Sora is fighting with normal Sora and Roxas.
Past Sora is like bound and like all stuck.
Right.
Ghost time traveling Sora, who was in past Sora's heart, has now zipped over to Roxas's heart
it's lucky
to like provide him with some support.
It's lucky that ghost time traveling doesn't work like normal time traveling, where you just zip into your own body. God, that's convenient, isn't it?
The Cherokee has magic ways. It's an angel, basically.
You are
at
so
this point.
forgiving when it comes to Roxas.
Yeah, so the three of them also have a really cool group attack where you press triangle a lot, and then it's very reminiscent of Kingdom Hearts 2.
Awesome.
they brought back a lot of the triangle
Like
moves.
Sora and Riku kind of
it's
thing.
Yeah, it's great. They have a cool trio attack. Xion, Axel, and Roxas. And
They're not Disney rides this time. They're just cool moves.
they're just cool moves.
Love it.
So anyway, the three hearts connect as they strike Xemnas, and as they strike Xemnas, the recusant sigil comes out of his chest, and they realize that it was the sigil the whole time that was their connection.
But we knew this already. It's not a big reveal. This is Dream Drop Distance stuff, right?
No. As in the only thing that made them friends in the first place is the sigil. It was because of the sigil that they became friends.
Who all does that apply to?
Roxas, Axel, and Xion.
Hate that. Hate that a lot. Hate that legitimately quite a lot. The more I think about it, I hate it more. As I was talking, I'm hating it more. There's a building level here. Imagine a HP bar, like, it's growing, and I hate that quite a lot. They just broke... No, they were nobodies who had no emotions, but through the power of friendship.
Well, no.
Friendship.
To be very clear, it's not like the recusant sigil, like, mind washed us into becoming friends thing. That's not what I mean. I'm meaning, like, it's symbolic in, like, by us all becoming nobodies, this is how we became friends. This is like symbolically what formed.
We wouldn't have become friends were
If
we
not
not
for the
yeah.
sigil.
Okay, yeah.
That's what it means.
That's totally fine. That's totally fine. I was really worried for a second there
To
we were
be
about to
very clear.
undo like friendship is magic.
No.
And I really liked that friendship is magic.
Yeah,
so
no.
it's fine. Okay.
To be very clear, it's like we had these original kind of nothing connections because of the mark. And then we grew from there. This is the foundation of our connection.
I hope the recusant sigil never comes back because it just keeps kind of being forced into things.
Well, I mean, I'm hoping Xehanort's dead. Xehanort's dead now. Hopefully,
Yeah,
that's
no
it.
more recusant sigil.
So
Maybe.
Roxas, well, I mean, Roxas says that the mark is going to disappear along with Xemnas, but that's okay because Roxas has reclaimed it.
Yeah. Oh, so it's a Roxas thing now. In which case, love the recusant sigil.
Every game.
Roxas comes in the next game, he's got it on like a necklace.
Plot point.
So that was what he needed Sora's help with.
Love Roxas.
And very conveniently, this is when Kairi gets kidnapped. So then we get the Roxas, Sora, and Xion versus Saïx fight. But this time, unlike the first game where we play as Sora, we're playing as Roxas. Nice. I think I also didn't mention that in the whole fight where you fight alongside Aqua in the Pyro one, in Remind you play as Aqua.
I love that. I love the fact that in the end, Roxas and Sora were fighting literally together. I love that a lot. It's great.
Kairi's kidnapped, and Lee and Isa talk about the mysterious girl in the basement who they wanted to find, and then... Do you not remember this?
You have to remind me.
Remember, so their whole original thing was that the whole reason they became guards at the castle was because they kept breaking into the castle as kids, where they met a mysterious girl in the basement.
Yeah.
And we'll revisit this in a bit because it's important for later. And that was like the whole thing is like, we want to do that. But then when they became nobodies, Saïx kept looking for the girl, but Lee kind of became friends with Roxas, and that's why they stopped being friends. So this ends. They go have their cry about sea salt ice cream, yada yada. And Sora is in a heart. And he's like, then Aqua, Terra, Roxas, and myself. That's 5 hearts connected. Only need 2 more until we're in Kairi Town.
Sure. Yeah.
Can you remind me why we need to do 7 before we can get to Kairi?
Because that's what...
It's annoying because Kairi is on the battlefield, so we could just go straight into
Yeah,
it.
he literally passed her as well. We saw her block Xion's blade. Why didn't he just jump? Because
I don't think that it's that Kairi heart that he's looking for. It's the one that already died.
Oh, right. It's not that one he's looking for,
actually
Monty.
died one.
It's not that one. Okay. We'll just shut up about that, I guess.
Yes, you will.
He could jump to
Shut
Kairi.
your whore.
No, he could jump to Kairi from Roxas because Roxas has a connection with Xion.
Don't question it.
Which has a connection with Kairi.
He needs 7.
Okay.
He needs 7. But he's like...
The cat told him.
We need the boss fights.
He's like, oh no, though. This is the final fight. I'm running out of time, and I need 2 whole more hearts. So we get up there. A whole Sora, Riku, and Mickey versus Young, Ansem, and Xehanort fight. Exactly the same. Not much more to say about this.
That's fine.
Then Xehanort pulls Kairi out of his pocket and kills her.
We see this again. This is a horrible scene in 3. We're
Yeah.
seeing it again.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair, I feel like this is the pivotal moment of Remind.
For any listeners, we're obviously looking at the scene. We're reminding ourselves of the scene where Xehanort kills Kairi up on the top of the cliff, and he's got the 12 other no-names stationed around him, positioned in a sort of perfect semicircle, all an exact meter from each other. Do you think he had to go round, or again, do you think he's got a guy for that?
Well, no, because if you remember in the cutscene, they kind of just appear and swirl behind him and then kind of like end.
It's great that the magic has such a sort of sense of geometry and aesthetic styling.
Yes, I agree.
That's not fair to Kingdom Hearts, I think.
Isn't magic?
It's funny, but it's not fair to Kingdom Hearts. Every magic has a sense of geometry and styling.
No, yeah, maybe that is a more general thing.
So as Kairi gets pulled out of Xehanort's pocket, we get a brief flash of just Sora in his heart and its connections and all that in it. So, yep. Xehanort summons Kingdom Hearts, XIII.
She is in the process of dying? Question mark.
No, so she's gone now.
She's dead.
Yeah,
Kairi has died.
Yeah, it's the exact same as Kingdom Hearts 3. Xehanort killed her.
Okay.
Deed. So, Xehanort summons Kingdom Hearts, XIII, Spooky Purple, everyone shows up. Cool. New stuff.
Right.
As everyone's there, so you remember how everybody's there and they all start like joining and they're like, oh, 2 half pints, make a whole pint.
I miss that so much.
And all that's happening. Well, while that conversation is happening, they kind of like turn the volume mixer like down to like 10 on that one. Right. So it's still going. And overlaid with that, Mickey starts talking to Sora in his head. Oh. Because remember that Mickey is like time travel frozen? Flying in the air here?
No, I don't
remember that. You're going to have to remind us of that.
So remember that after
Wait, does it matter that we know how it's possible? Because I'm happy to skip over it.
Did you forget that Mickey holds the power of time in his hand?
Oh, he's got the time. Yes, he does. He's got, because he uses it in Dream Drop Distance.
Yeah. So if you remember in the original Kingdom Hearts 3, it's like after Xehanort kills Kairi, he jumps up and then he tries to like freeze time.
Yeah.
And stuff. Anyway, so everybody shows up. And while he's still kind of time frozen, he's like, oh my gosh, I'm here and I'm glad my voice is reaching you.
So a couple of questions on this. Sorry. I've put my adult juice down, everybody, so Chase knows it's real. Question number 1 is, well, there's one question. Is Kingdom Hearts immune to time magic? Because, and this is my question, everybody is amassed, the whole gang is amassed, they're all pointing their Keyblades in the sky, they're getting ready to try and shut down and stop Kingdom Hearts they're just standing there going, oh, we should probably stop that Kingdom Hearts.
They're still chatting at this point.
Okay, perfect. In a few moments, they're all going to go, oh, we need to stop Kingdom Hearts. In barely 2 or 3 minutes tops, right?
Yes.
So Mickey decides he's going to freeze time so he can speak to Sora. But is Kingdom Hearts still growing in the background?
To be very clear, he's not freezing time to talk to Sora.
Right.
He remember that he doesn't like freeze all the time. He freezes like a little pocket, like he freezes like a specific person kind of thing.
Right.
So he tried to freeze just Xehanort.
Right.
In this moment.
And it doesn't work.
No, because Xehanort's...
See, he's all powerful.
Xehanort's all powerful. So he's just talking to him while he himself is frozen before he stops the magic.
Okay, so Mickey decides to freeze all the goodies while Kingdom Hearts is growing and go,
nobody else is frozen. It's just Mickey who's frozen.
Why does Mickey freeze himself?
Because he freezed himself along with Xehanort in, like, I guess a little pocket, but then Xehanort's too powerful.
So Mickey's plan doesn't work.
We don't question it.
Okay.
Mickey's frozen. No, everybody else...
Specifically told not to question
Everybody else is just chatting.
Okay.
This is the whole part where they all come and everybody and Donald and Goofy are like, we're going to come help you.
Can I ask you then?
Yes.
So in a one-on-one fight with no external factors, just holding their Keyblades, Xehanort would dust Mickey.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I mean, keep in mind that Xehanort's been a master for probably 50, 60 years.
Well, Mickey might have been around for thousands of years.
Well, yes, but, by what we know from Dream Drop, he wasn't a master in Dream Drop.
This is true, yeah.
And Xehanort was already a master for 50 years at that point.
Dust that little rat.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Anyway, so while they're all chatting, and it's very, how I complained a lot back in Frozen World about how, like, Anna talks over top of them singing, do you want to build a snowman?
Yes.
And, like, the volumes were, so it's exactly the same here. The entire original Kingdom Hearts 3 conversation.
We gotta stop Kingdom Hearts!
So I've gathered you all here to discuss it.
Well, we've got no. But Mickey,
I've got a manifesto I'd really like it if you could read.
Mickey is only talking to future time traveling brain Sora.
Sora's trying to pay attention, maybe.
Past Sora is having the conversation, and simultaneously Ghost Sora is having a mind conversation.
It's lucky that so why can't Ghost Sora be seen at this point?
Because he's inside of past Sora's heart.
But he's separate. He's standing separate. No.
No. He's inside the heart.
So one Sora is listening to one conversation and they it's lucky that Mickey was able to seek out Ghost Sora inside past Sora.
Exactly. He's having like a telekinetic mind conversation.
How did Mickey know that there was going to be a Ghost Sora?
Anyhow.
No, hold on, please, hold on. Pause for a second. Everybody reset. I would just like to apologize to anybody who's listening so far, because we're as confused as you are. I think, and Neil, maybe you can agree with me, this is the most chaotic it's been since Dream Drop, Distance Drop, Time Travel.
In terms of in the studio.
In the studio and in the story, arguably, because we've got a Ghost Sora and a normal Sora and a Mickey that's freezing time to speak to Ghost Sora, and there's a lot happening right now. So I think that it's important that we all just take a second and reset. And I just understand that from this point on, Chase, we're not going to think about it. Because we're really lost.
So Mickey points out that Kairi didn't actually die.
Excuse me?
Kairi's not dead.
Why not?
Why?
No, we said we wouldn't question. We said we wouldn't question.
right-
We've already done a question.
I flipped back a slide here in my PowerPoint. Do you remember when Xehanort? I wish I had a GIF version, because do you remember when Xehanort, do you remember when Xehanort KeYbLaDes Kairi in the back? We never see her heart leave. She turns into a crystal, and then the crystal explodes.
Oh, she doesn't get shot in the head, Scream style.
She just turns
Okay.
into a
originally-
crystal and it explodes, of course.
Just to double check, I did check if this was the same in the original Kingdom Hearts 3. It is exactly the same in the original Kingdom Hearts 3. She just turns into a crystal and explodes.
I'm so sorry. I heard about your friend. No, she just turned into a crystal and exploded.
But yeah, so we didn't
worry about it.
We didn't see a heart, and we know how Nomura works.
How is that different from a heart? If you turn to a crystal and explode, my reading of that would be, yes, there goes her heart. That's her heart form.
But we didn't see the heart.
Why is she not?
We always see the heart go to the sky.
Why is she not dead?
Because she's not. So it turns out that Xehanort didn't kill her. Xehanort crystallized her so that she could be insurance in case Kingdom Hearts never opened.
What insurance?
Because he needs the 7 Princesses of Heart, so he's just keeping her on the side in case this whole current plan doesn't work.
So why did he pretend to kill her? He chose to pretend.
Well, no. So he didn't pretend, because he did still need the Clash of Light and Dark there to make the 13th key.
Right.
So he did still do that to make the 13th key. Just, instead of killing her in that clash, he just crystallized her and put her back in his pocket.
With his keyblade.
With his keyblade.
Okay, so
We literally 30 seconds ago said we wouldn't question.
I know, but we're getting real. Xehanort, if we cast our minds to Dark Road, gentlemen, Dark Road, which we all know and love, Dark Road gives us a very empathetic and sympathetic Xehanort. He's all about the world order, and he wants to bring about balance later on that never gets explained, but that's his deal. And now we're getting a Xehanort, a mustache-twirling villain Xehanort, who's also like, I don't want to kill it.
Just goatee.
Sorry, just goatee. Goatee stroking Xehanort. It's like, I don't want to kill anybody. I just want Kingdom Hearts to come around. So, but does he not outline the rules at the start? Don't kill each other, just fight.
Well, no. I mean, he's cool with everybody else killing everybody else. He just doesn't kill... Because Kairi's a Princess of Light. The rest of them can, who cares about them?
Right.
He only needs... She's insurance. He's not keeping her alive because he's a nice guy. He's keeping her alive because he can use her for other plans. I would like to point out the fact that, if Kairi didn't die, why are we on a taboo quest to bring her back from the dead? Surely her...
Oh, God.
Surely her crystal self is still there in the present.
God.
But we're not going to think about that.
No. No, we're not going to think about it.
We're not going to think about it. We're continuing.
I'm mad.
My brain is melting with this. I thought I would enjoy this, and I'm
not even dead.
I am having a good
You are
time.
enjoying it. It's back to classic Kingdom Hearts chaos.
This is Dream Drop Distance levels of I'm loving everything about us being together, hating everything that's happening right now in the story.
Oh, it gets better. I've titled the next section the Kai-rystals, which I just think is cute. So they all, they do the whole thing. They unlock Xehanort's heart. And then we get a shot of Sora in his own heart. And he's like, oh my gosh, Kairi's dead, and the battle's over. I'm running out of time. What am I meant to do? Even if I, stick around with my past self, I'm not gonna, there's no more Guardians where my past self is going. I'm not gonna do anything. And then he's like, wait, Master Xehanort's portal. I can time travel, yeet myself into the Xehanort portal.
Into the Xehanort portal where Sora and Xehanort have their final fight in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yes,
Into the Skeleton KeYbLaDe portal.
So
Yes, but time-traveling Ghost Sora does it before physical body Sora does it.
How?
That's not the
Literally
rules
how?
of time travel.
How?
Because it's a heart portal, so he sees. And so he gets there, and he arrives at Skala, and he's like, good. Past self isn't here yet. I've got some time to go do shenanigans.
What's his plan?
What's he walking around in?
He's looking. He's in Sky.
What body's he walking around
Because
in?
remember, he can come out of ghost form. He can Danny Phantom himself back into a physical form. Unlike Xehanort, who time travels using magic juice, which only lets his heart time travel, Sora time travels with the power of waking, which lets his body go.
Sure.
So, Sora arrives before his past self into Scala, where he sees a Kairi wandering around. She's just kind of about.
Why?
She's just about.
Crystal Kairi.
And she kind of wanders around, and then a bunch of Heartless appear, and you defeat a red one, like a little scuttly boy, and it releases a little piece of a crystal.
Oh, so she turns into a Heartless like Sora does in Kingdom Hearts 1.
A bunch of different Heartless.
It's a crystal piece, and he's like, this is Kairi shaped. And you also get a little Kairi gauge. He's found 1 of 5 Kairi pieces, and it was hidden inside a red Heartless.
Cool.
So he sees Vision Kairi again. He kind of wanders after her. Now,
I know we said we wouldn't question so much. Is Xehanort here at this point?
not that we've seen.
Okay.
This is like, it's time dilation, which we'll get to, but time dilation, it's all slowed down in here. Sora can spend 2 hours in here, and it's a minute in the real
I feel
world.
this is a whole different thing than time dilation, because this is in a
good.
world. This is inside. This is like memory Scala inside Xehanort's heart. Remember?
I missed this.
So Sora wanders around Scala looking for things, and it's all puzzles.
Okay.
One of those puzzles is a machine, where he needs to figure out how to work the machine, and as he does, the machine tells us the entire story of Union Cross.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean by the entire story of Union Cross?
I mean, not really. It's a machine. It has like 3 buttons. You kind of have to align the little globe with the buttons to make it work. That's the puzzle.
So it's like real world, data world, real world.
Well, yeah. So it shows Daybreak Town, and then kind of the little motif in the back spins around, and then it shows like Daybreak Town getting destroyed, and then it shows rising from the ashes of destroyed Daybreak Town, Skull Egg Island.
I love the design.
cool.
I love the design of this. It's really
Yeah.
The
nice.
conceptually, it's very, very cool. It's a cool moment.
Really, all it does is it tells you that Scala used to be Daybreak Town. It feels like it's a memorial for the people who lived in Scala.
Yeah.
Is what it feels like.
It makes sense that it would also exist in the real world. I can imagine Ephemer being,
Probably.
nostalgic enough to make this. That's yeah.
Oh, 100%. It probably did. Cool. But anyway, you finish it, and one of the Kairi pieces comes out, so nobody has an excuse to not know their lore. Would you like to guess where the last Kairi piece is?
Inside Sora's heart.
That's what I would go for.
It's in a dark side, of course.
Oh, all right, okay.
We didn't fight a dark side. We've not fought a dark side in a while. It's literally the exact same fight as the start of the game, copy paste, except this time it's red.
But if a Heartless eats a part of a heart, then surely that would
Well, it's not a part of a heart. It's a part of Kairi. So yeah, Sora bite things and he's like, I've got 5. But how many more are there? And very kindly, Xehanort appears behind him, and he's like, there's 2 more.
What?
And Sora's like, why are you here? And he's like, well, I hid them, so of course I'm here.
What? Why is Xehanort not like...
Oh, we're here for the final battle. It's you. You followed me through the portal. Time for our final battle. Does he know that this is future
He
Sora?
does. So he...
So he must know he loses then.
Well, so he's like, oh, you came using taboo methods. Are you ready to pay the ultimate price?
He must know that he didn't kill Sora and he lost.
Well, no, to be fair to say...
Well, he doesn't know when Sora time traveled.
Yeah. And maybe for all he knows, number one, yeah, absolutely right. Maybe Sora, this is a Sora from the past to travel to the future. But second, maybe Xehanort thinks that he actually defeats Sora, so he has to travel to the past because he's in the final world, right?
Yeah,
That makes
maybe.
sense. Neil, shut up. You're not paying attention.
But yeah, so he's like, I hid the Kairi pieces, obviously. Why did you think that they were in the monument? Did you think that she had a connection to Union Cross, you silly sods?
Oh.
Sora's like, enough, I'm gonna save Kairi. And Xehanort's like, you're too late. And he points over, and past Sora has finally shown up, and all of like the spooky dark shards that he fights are already there, and that fight's already started. And time travel Sora's like, shit, no, gah. And Sora's like, he's like, oh, you were able to change the past a little bit because, were able to get here ahead of your past self. But now that your past self's here, you're going to get swooped back into his heart and you need to go along for the ride.
Does he know? Does he have to do that inside someone else's heart?
Who else's heart is he going to go into?
Yeah.
But he's already not in the heart.
Well, but now his past self's here. So he's going to get swooped back inside.
Okay.
And obviously past Sora didn't do Kairi. So, what's he going to do now? Also, I would just like to point out, I don't know if this is important or just an Easter egg. It's the same music that's playing here as when you get like spooky reveals in Union Cross, like when the master tells his master plan.
Cool. That's quite fun.
So it's the same music, but yeah. Anyway, so you go back and you do this exact same fight against the 13 dark shard yada yadas as in normal Kingdom Hearts. Then obviously Xehanort forms, turns into the big one that starts phase 2. But before we get to phase 2, we swoop into Sora's heart where we see inside Sora like, oh no, I still need 2 Kairi parts. Where's the Kairi parts? If only I could trace 2 more Guardians, but there's no Guardians here. But wait, what if everybody? They always told me to follow my heart. Follow my heart? But hearts are all connected. Can I trace the connection? And then Sora jumps up, and very conveniently, like 3 feet away from his heart platform, is Riku's heart platform.
Oh!
Like he literally jumps 3 feet, and Riku's heart platform is just right there. Yeah. I'd also like to point out how Sora isn't on Riku's heart platform.
Yeah, a bit brutal.
Best friends for life, but instead you've been replaced by Namine and some Seeker of Darkness, our ultimate villain from season 1, from episode 1.
Season 1?
Season 54.
Season 1 of
oh my god, I can't wait for the Kingdom Hearts show on Disney Plus. That's inevitable. Because Disney wants to milk everything.
Yeah, good stuff.
So we're on.
So he's off to find Kairi's heart on Riku's planet.
But yeah, so Riku's heart's right there, and Sora's like, cool, nice, unlock. And we yeet back outside of Heart Xehanort portal, where you know how kind of Sora goes in the heart, and then the next time we see all the Guardians, they kind of fly in at the end of the battle, and they're like, we've fixed Kingdom Hearts.
Yes.
Now we get to see what was happening outside.
Oh, cool. Okay,
Yeah,
so we how they fix Kingdom
Yeah,
Hearts.
so we swoop outside,
Okay.
and they're all like, oh my god, hearts and darkness. So you remember how they all kind of pointed their Keyblades at Dark Kingdom Hearts, and it like gave it like 6 white pimples? Mm-hmm. Well, no, it used Accutane because the pimples are gone.
Wow.
This is a mess. I can't imagine how I'm going to edit this.
Kind of wordplay that people sign up for.
Darkness.
Nobody's going to be able to follow Remind. No one knows what's happening.
The darkness face wash washes over, and the white light dots disappear, and everybody's like, oh no. And also this is the same time that Sora and Xehanort are having their fight at the top of Skull's Tower, which I'd like to point out, now that we know all about Dark Road, is the same place that he also fought Boulder.
Oh,
Just as, again, an Easter egg.
that's very cool.
Battles happen there. Cool stuff.
Love it.
So remember the Dark Shards that Sora beat, like the 13 little floaty boys?
Yeah.
So they're now in the real world. They've come out to play.
Not the cultists.
Yeah,
it's Neil's cult. They're out. They've escaped
All
Kingdom Hearts.
6 of them.
I see you all. I love this design, by the way.
Yeah,
They're very cool.
We liked it the first time.
I'm not sure why there is a goat motif going on with Xehanort.
Sort of Satan-y thing, isn't it?
I guess so.
Yeah.
I like it. But yeah, so they've come out. They've escaped Kingdom Hearts, and they suddenly just open a bunch of like keyholes in the sky, and then summon a tornado to blow everybody away. To be clear, a normal wind one this time, not a heartless one. And as everybody flies in the sky,
They can all kind of fly at this point, can't
well, so they now all have a magic flying triangle battle
Ooh, who are you
in
playing
the sky. You're playing as everybody simultaneously.
as? What?
Well, so if you look, you only have 2 controls. You can attack and you can block.
Oh.
And that's it. And every once in a while you get to press triangle and they do a cool group move. And there's a bunch of keyholes in the sky. Where do the keyholes go? Don't question it.
This is honestly pretty cool. This village visual is pretty cool.
This, basically from here to the end, is the epitome of, it looks fucking cool, don't question it.
I'm just at a point with this series where I look at this screen and I think, I just love my boys. I love them.
Yeah.
All of them. Aqua, Riku, Lee.
It's when new characters
Roxas.
get introduced that we start to be a bit like, who are you? Get lost. Get back
You're
to the
not
cool
part of the
Roxas
gang.
stuff. Yeah.
And then we get 2 games later, we're like, oh no, we love them.
No, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
We're
we're
the horrible gatekeeping it girls of our like.
But yeah, so recall that time-traveling ghost Sora is now, he's chilling in Riku's heart. And as Riku kills one of them, suddenly one of the Kairi pieces comes out of one of these guys. It was hidden in there the whole time.
Oh, that was
And Danny Phantom Sora kind of swoops out and he's like, I'll take that. And he shoots back into Riku's heart.
So he can leave.
Well, I think it's like he like ghost leaves and Riku doesn't see him because he just kind of like half comes out of the body. He's like mine. Just to be very clear, Sora is obviously not fighting in this fight. He's inside of Riku's heart. As the fight goes on, all the Guardians kind of get just swooped into keyholes.
Yeah.
They just get kind of smacked away. Everybody except for Mickey and Riku because the boyfriends need to stay there. One of them goes to attack Mickey, and Riku's like, no, and blocks it. And as he does, Sora kind of yeets himself out of Riku and into Mickey.
Oh, no. It was okay before, but now it's weird. It's in the mouth.
Just imagining we're finally getting a glimpse inside Mickey, and I'm expecting to see fields of fire. Just apocalyptic visions.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There's
Sora,
a throne of bones.
so Sora yeets himself into Mickey. Questionably, forcibly? Maybe? Not really. Unclear.
Again, I'm uncomfortable with this whole concept, by the way.
Unclear,
But
but
Mickey deserved it.
Riku gets yeeted into one of the flying keyholes. So it's just Mickey. Mickey versus the Dark Shards.
You're not meant to see this, Sora.
So Mickey gets blown away, and he kind of falls onto. He kind of like lands, and he falls as if there's a platform there, but he's in the sky, so there's not really a platform. It's like an invisible sky platform.
Where are we? I'm following.
There's like an invisible sky platform, and the keyholes kind of merge together to make a mega keyhole.
This is the worst it's ever been. This is the most Kingdom Hearts bullshit in a single Kingdom Hearts game, and it's only the DLC. It's mad.
But the sky holes merge together. They make a mega keyhole, and then you press triangle a lot so that Mickey can stand up.
It's like the scene. It's like we're showing it on screen right now.
It's like
We're showing it on
what has he landed on?
It's a bit like that scene in Metal Gear Solid 4 where you're dragging
Don't
Snake
you
through
fucking dare!
Is it like that?
Oh
Chase is doing the coy boy look.
Is this like the... Chase, how long are you mashing triangle for? We're talking like minutes?
Oh no!
Because with MGS, it's like 5 full minutes.
You mash it, and he stands up. As a golden wind is blowing him from the keyhole, and he's slow walking forward towards the keyhole. It's very dramatic.
It's Metal Gear 4.
I said.
Yeah, you're right.
He's slow walking forward. All of the darknesses are like in the sky above him as he slow walks down this path.
Wait, why have they all got red dots? Because that makes me think about Kairi heart
They've
pieces.
all got red dots because they're about to shoot some lasers at him.
I'm sorry, right? Just very quickly. Solid Snake would shoot Mickey Mouse in the head. He wouldn't even ask him. He wouldn't even be like, why are you here? What weird thing are you?
I don't want to be
Bang.
playing as Mickey. I don't care. I know this genuinely. Any listeners? This looks epic, right? It is the Metal Gear 4 corridor scene, the nuclear corridor, and Mickey is going towards this portal. All the dark figures in the sky shooting lasers at him. It's very cool.
Lots of lasers.
Oh wow.
Oh, the lasers just don't stop.
Yeah, it's all of them firing lasers at him at the same time, and he's like, you're having to like do essentially quick time events to like walk him forward slowly as he like blocks off the lasers.
The HP bar is dropping. Mickey is taking hits as he goes. This might be the death of Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, so they're all
can only but live in hope.
they're all firing lasers, and remember that Spirit Sora is inside, and he's like, I'm giving my connection heart strength, and he stands with Mickey as they push back. He stands with Mickey
It's Goku and Gohan.
as they push back
Ghost
the lasers,
Goku.
and then Mickey summons his 100-foot ghost laser sword as he swoops through all of them, and he slices through all the demons with his 100-foot laser sword.
This would be so cool if it was anyone but Mickey Mouse.
What was the
So
big?
cool.
What was the big keyhole in the sky? Do we know what that was?
No,
That's not Kingdom Hearts.
Where was it going? Where was it going to?
that's a great question.
Doubtless we'll get a Nintendo DS game in 15 years that outlines it.
Mickey has a laser sword, and he just slices through everybody with it, and they all, die. I feel like we didn't see this side of Neil for the whole of the Union Cross.
This is the maddest it's ever gotten. I think you've got to back me up. Somehow this is the maddest it's ever gotten.
Absolutely
There's so many
mental.
leaps of
Hey, also,
logic.
I've just had a thought that's occurred to me, which should have occurred to me earlier.
glad we're
That
ending
when
on
kids, as you said, the first thing I asked you in the first episode, Kingdom Hearts 1,
Yes.
is this the same Mickey, Donald, and Goofy as in all the other media? And you said yes. It lends a total new lens to kids watching Mickey's Playhouse to know that he has cut through countless foes with a laser sword and then went on to present a kids' TV program.
So I continue. So Mickey's
The shard's dead. Mickey locks, unclear, the keyhole. He does a thing and he shoots a beam at the keyhole.
Chase,
Don't question it.
where is Virum Rex? I thought we would get to Virum
Shut
Rex.
up. It's unclear. And as he does, suddenly the sky decides that it doesn't want to have an invisible sky platform anymore, and Mickey starts falling through the sky. So Sora, though, leaps out of his heart, catching Mickey in a warm embrace. And Mickey's like, wait, why are you here and not in Xehanort's heart? ? And Sora's like, shh. My sweet prince.
Sleep
My
now.
sweet prince.
Go to
Don't
sleep, go
don't
to
worry
sleep.
about it. And he kind of like reaches up and he grabs a Kairi shard out of the sky next to him and he's like,
Bye.
this is the last one I needed. I'll take it from here. Don't worry about it.
I'm not here for you.
I'm just imagining Mickey plummeting back towards the earth after Sora disappears going,
What the hell?
But yeah, Sora grabs it and he's like, don't worry about it. And then Sora drops Mickey and disappears into the keyhole.
I can't anymore.
Sora's like, you've served your purpose, Mickey. I'm away into this keyhole.
Wait, for real though, is Mickey about to die?
Mickey's falling through the sky and Sora's away into a keyhole.
Okay.
And that's how we leave it. Because Sora then finds himself in space, and space has keyholes.
no.
Right, hold on, Chase, very quickly. So, somebody shared Lore Dump on Reddit, and I just want to thank that person massively for it, because I think it's where many of the views have come from. But I saw a great description underneath, which is like, and it was a massive compliment to you, Chase, which was, I really appreciate that he's guiding them through the full story, the character arcs, the whole shebang, which is why I think we've had so much fun with it. Because most people, when they make videos doing Kingdom Hearts lore,
Yes.
they just kind of throw 50 wacky things at them in a moment. You know, oh, there's a Riku double, and Ansem isn't Ansem, and blah, 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 blah. And obviously, we've spent 20 hours and counting now
Way
doing
more.
this. Definitely way more. And they really enjoyed it for that fact. So first off, whoever you are, because presumably you're listening to this, thank you for sharing it on Reddit. It is a huge help. Second to that is, Chase, this feels like that Reddit comment.
I promise you, this is the same level of detail that all my other videos have been. This is just how it happens in game. This
Sora's in space.
really is just how it happened. I wish I could provide more detail to this.
We were supposed to interrupt less.
Sorry.
We're now in space.
So we're in space, and space has keyholes in it. And then, like, a light comet flies and just crashes into one of the keyholes. And Sora's like, oh my gosh, it's the King's light. And it bounces around and starts connecting some of the keyholes.
So Mickey Mouse, as he's falling through the sky, jumps into space.
Well, no. He sends his light into space so that it can show Sora that he has the ability to connect keyholes because everything's connected, you know. And then Sora does a puzzle where you need. Sora does a puzzle and he needs to like orient his KeYbLaDe and orient like the keyholes so that they all connect.
fun.
And he makes a web of all of the keyholes connecting the entire universe in one moment of pure peace.
I mean, it's a beautiful visual on screen right now.
It
This
really
is
is.
ridiculous.
This looks like Yggdrasil. This looks like Yggdrasil from back in the Viking religion, how they would probably imagine Yggdrasil to look. It is a stunning constellation of light. It is absolutely stunning. I'm sure when you're playing it, this is a real moment.
By connecting the universe, he finds all the lost guardians in their keyholes, and light swoops out and like grabs the guardians.
Fine.
And he's like, cool.
Yeah.
He's like, cool.
This is the least weird bit.
And they all warp back, and their lights, like lights, shoot out of the guardians, and they all fuse. and they fuse with the Kairi pieces, and the Kairi pieces turn into like a rose. And then remember back in Kingdom Hearts 2 when you'd get an item and then that item would make a keyhole and Sora would do a thing?
And he would just shoot into an ice.
The rose does a keyhole and Sora does the thing and it's like the exact same animation where like the crown appears under his feet and he goes, wow, when he unlocks.
That's fine.
That's very cool.
And he unlocks the rose piece and Kairi's back, baby!
Yay!
He did it!
We've got a really again, any listeners, we've got a really beautiful visual of them both. It looks like space, but actually I think I see a sort of atmosphere there. And Kairi is falling through space and Sora is jumping, reaching out to grab her.
We're giggling about this, but again, I think it is important to acknowledge that I'm sure this feels very, like, good.
Oh, it's very cool.
This moment is very powerful.
This entire last third of Remind is very cool.
Again, bear in mind that
like this last third is potentially my favorite part of the entirety of Kingdom Hearts 3.
the risk of
I can see that.
So
this is beautiful.
Kairi's back. They have an embrace. But of course, embraces can't last for any amount of time in the Kingdom Hearts universe because the Phase 2 Xehanort boss from inside his heart comes back. Remember when all like the 13 shards form? They make like big demon guy, and he's got the 13 Keyblades behind him, and they have, Sora and Kairi pull out their swords, and you get to play as Kairi. Oh my god!
First time in the series?
When Remind was announced, I think that playing as Kairi was possibly the single thing that the fan base was the most excited for. Like, it is possibly one of the most hype moments in the entire series is suddenly getting to play as Kairi, and I love it.
So who's Kairi's fighting Xehanort?
So it's like the dark figure Xehanort. Like,
13 bits.
remember they fuse into like that, yeah.
The lamb people.
The lamb people turn into like Mega Lamb.
Cool.
And it's a very, very cool fight on a random sky platform because sky platforms, we don't question it. And you play as Kairi, and it's badass, and they have a lot of very cool pair moves. I'll show you the fight later. It is very good. But anyway, Sora and Kairi summon all of the other Guardians back from their keyholes so that we can have friendship. Riku, of course, catches his boyfriend who's been falling from the sky this whole time, if you'll remember.
And Sora turns to Riku and said, I was inside your boyfriend a minute ago.
Don't say that. Stop that.
Cutting that.
So they all land back in the platform and together as one, blast Goatman. And then Kairi and Sora just disappear. They fade from existence. Don't question it. Also, to be clear, from a gameplay perspective, you do all this in place of the remainder of the Xehanort fight from the original game.
So the same time real life Sora is fighting Xehanort.
You are doing this.
Cool.
So immediately following this, we see the scene of Xehanort getting defeated in Scala. And then we swoop back outside where we see Lee going, where'd Sora and Kairi go? Weren't they just here? And Riku's like, don't worry. They're together, so they'll be fine.
Cute.
And then, we go back. We see Dark apparently killing Goatman fixed Kingdom Hearts because Kingdom Hearts just disappears back behind the clouds.
Why?
Sure.
And they go into the Xehanort portal, and then we get the bit from the original Kingdom Hearts 3 scene where they come in and they're like, we fixed Kingdom Hearts, and it all plays out the same. Sora and Kairi have disappeared. Well, we see that they've appeared in the final world, where they finally get a chance to properly embrace. As Sora looks down his hand, which is starting to disappear, and he's like, shit. Oh no. Sora calls out to Chirithy, who appears, and he's like, I was just trying to give you a bit of little privacy. Cheeky. And Kairi introduces herself, and Chirithy's like, I'm glad you're okay, which is very cute. Sora then tells Chirithy that, we're going home. Come with us. So I think that it's not meant to be like they disappeared. Like they disappeared because they finished their time travel. They went back to the point of time travel. Right. And now that
their hearts are heading back.
Yeah. Well, so this is now back to the present. This is the present. They're back in the present. Yeah. And now they're just gonna physically go back, is what Sora's saying.
Okay, so he's not disappearing yet.
No. He's starting to disappear, but it's not yet. So he's like, Chirithy, we're going home, but you should come with us. You go find the person that you want to find out about. Go find your person. Sora's like, look at this place. It's beautiful. It should be shared with others, just like I'm sharing it with Kairi. which I'm guessing the moral is meant to be that we're all meant to die together so we can go to heaven together because it's beautiful and we should see it together.
This is for me personally. This is a bottom tier heaven. This is a mid to bottom tier. This is just for any listeners who've not seen this. It's an endless expanse of sky and clouds, nice sky and clouds, reflected in an endless sort of mirrored sea below them.
I would also like to be very clear. This isn't like heaven, as in like you stay here when you die. This is like it's the gateway.
It's the in between.
And some people stay here because they.
It's the waiting room.
Exactly.
Got you.
It's a boring waiting room. It's not even a magazine.
It's cute.
Okay.
Shut up.
Anyway, Sora's like, but it's beautiful. So that's that's why you're coming with us. We're gonna take you to come see your friend.
Oh, Charity's face.
Oh my god! In the actual thing, it's like quivering, and it looks like Charity's about to cry.
Charity is just doing this like Pixar cute, can't believe what's happening. Oh.
Although it is a bit odd because its eyes are very clearly meant to look like the sewing on a doll, but they quiver like real eyes.
Wow,
And I'm like,
Pixar stuff, isn't it?
I can forgive it because it's adorable, and I am definitely thinking too far into it. But anyway, so from here, we then finally move into our final cutscene of Kingdom Hearts 3. We see everybody returning to their homes.
This is how the Chirithy sees Ven.
Exactly. Mickey returns to Disney Castle, finally gets to, see his wife once again.
Finally.
It's been years.
Yeah.
Literally, it's been since I don't think he's been home since Kingdom Hearts 1. I literally think he's been gone for like 5 years.
Well, by time dilation standards, that means that Minnie's like 100 years old.
We'll get onto it.
So, they go, and finally we come to the Wayfinder trio. They place their Wayfinders on their grave that they finally get to lay for Master Ericus. And we see Chirithy, from behind the rocks looking out at them. And a slight extension as we see Sora give an encouraging push to Chirithy, sending him out to go finally see his friend.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really nice.
Oh,
God.
just gives him a light little push. He's like, "Go ahead, go, buddy, go see your friend."
Oh man, I'm getting choked up.
This is the part I texted them this morning, and I'm like, "If you think I was crying when I came in, I was. It's because I was making this part of the time. This is the exact part I was making when it's
Chirithy goes through a lot.
Chirithy goes through so much.
The Chirithys plural, but like Chirithy goes through a lot. This particular Chirithy goes through. I'm assigned to my KeYbLaDe wielder. He seems nice. We're now friends. Oh dear, now my friend is killing all of his friends, and this is horrible and weird. Oh dear, my friend has forgotten all of that, but I remember, and I need to feed that back into him through my magic spell. Oh dear, my friend has been taken over by the darkness to kill a random innocent girl. Oh dear, my friend has been shot into the future, and now I'm in the afterlife. Oh dear, now I have to help all of these weird, freaky KeYbLaDe people, and all I want to do is see my friend. Oh dear, it has been potentially thousands of years since I last saw him. I don't want to speak to him. Oh dear, this freaky guy that keeps breaking all the rules is now literally pushing me into the situation. This Chirithy, most tragic character, and I say that loving Roxas, this Chirithy has gone through a lot, man. Poor Chirithy.
Very emotional.
Yeah, so it gives him a light push out. Chirithy reunites with Ven, as we saw in the original cutscene. And as the Wayfinders walk away, we see Sora and Kairi looking out, watching them go off. So also, during the bit where we see all of them resurrecting Naminé, we do see a bit of an extended clip of Sora unlocking Kairi's heart to let Naminé out so that she can actually go into the body.
So she's a real person now. She's walking about. Oh, good.
Naminé's real. I also would like to point out that we never see Sora in these scenes that are added, and I think it's meant to be because the last time we see Sora as he completes his taboo, and we're never meant to see him again.
You could also argue that it's artistic choice because
that as well.
Sora presumably is slowly, over the course of these events, fading away.
Yes.
And it might remove some of the emotional weight. If you've got a Sora, one leg, no arm, but trying to lean over to get it done.
So,
but yeah.
KeYbLaDe to Kairi's heart, lets Naminé out, and she returns. And finally, of course, we see the final scene of Kairi and Sora on the tree in Destiny Islands, holding hands as Sora finally fades from existence. His banishment foretold.
But how does he get to Tokyo?
Cue the illusion, the foreteller scene, chess scene, Tokyo scene, all that, we know it. For following the original secret scenes of Kingdom Hearts 3, we get further scenes. As we see Riku arrive at the land of departure to meet with Terra, who's, tell him he's a true Keyblade master. You're so good, Riku. And it's like, yeah, no shit, he's way better than you, Terra. He also does say, like, I have nothing more to teach you. And I'm like, Terra, you're not even a master.
Yeah,
What did you teach him? Also, he's like, the fact that you made it to the land of departure is proof of your strength. And it's like, wait, is it meant to be hard? Riku has a gummy ship. Like, I'm very confused by a lot of the dialogue in the scene.
You know how convoluted things are getting when Chase is doing our job for us.
Also, Terra's an old man. It's like the teacher.
Terra's not an old man, though.
No, but he's lived like 1,000,000 years or 100 years by this point. He's been
lived
Terranort.
like 20 years.
Does he have memories of being Terranort?
Probably.
Oh dear. Oh, poor Terra.
Who knows?
Oh, poor Terra.
But yeah, but Riku's like, fam, I'm not powerful enough. I gotta get better. And then Aqua and Ven come, and it's a cute little conversation. Ven's like, oh my gosh, what are you guys laughing about? And Terra's like, oh my gosh, it's a secret, haha, as he walks away. And then Riku's like, Aqua, are you sure? Are you sure this time? And Aqua's like, don't worry, fam, I ain't alone. And the three summon a portal. And they stick on their Keyblade armor and walk into the portal. And Riku's like, good luck.
Where are they going? We don't know.
I'm not alone this time, so back into darkness, presumably.
A year later, we are in, not Hollow Bastion, what's it called? Radiant Gardens. Specifically at Merlin's house. And you know what that means? Finally, the Final Fantasy characters are in this game.
Hey! Oh, look, it's Sid. And having played Final Fantasy XIV between our last session and this session, I suddenly have quite a bit of appreciation for, not the Final Fantasy VII characters, because I love them already, but like seeing Sid, who doesn't look like Sid in Final Fantasy XIV.
Also the Final Fantasy VIII character?
We do not have time to go into all this in depth. I will just say... Monty played Final Fantasy XIV between our last set of recordings and this.
He marathoned the whole thing, Realm Reborn to Endwalker.
I would say, from an outside perspective, did not have the best time.
He had a phenomenal time. I was walking through the whole game.
Chase did. Chase joined me for many a raid, many a final fight. Chase was on me with voice chat for the entire last hour and an hour, 2 hours.
Oh, we did that final walk. It was great.
Heaven Walker is great.
Heaven Walker?
What's it called?
Heaven's Word.
Heaven's Word is amazing. Endwalker is great. Shadowbringers is the best one. I cried during Endwalker.
Stormblood is there.
Stormblood is god-awful, and Realm Reborn is also god-awful, and I equate them.
Realm Reborn is fine. So, we're with the long-lost Final Fantasy characters. Why were they not in the rest of 3? God only knows. But... anyway, Aerith is like, well, we all remember Sora, so it's not like a Xion situation where she disappeared from existence, Clearly Sora is still, with them, because memory is hearts. Sora's still there.
Okay.
And Riku's like, yeah, but we've been looking for him for like a whole year. So this is a year post thing. They've been looking at him for a year, and they've not found a single clue. So we find out that Sid and Ansem, plus all of Ansem's apprentices at the castles, have been combing through the data world looking for Sora. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy were looking for clues in the Disney worlds. Terra, Aqua, and Ven, like you suspected, went to the Realm of Darkness looking for clues. Right. Which also, I have a note, I guess we've just decided is very easy now. There's no extra steps. We're not going to question it.
By this point, fair enough.
Also, the Twilight Town gang are studying Roxas and Xion's memory again.
Sorry, so as in Dog Street gang, I forget their names.
Well, them plus Isa plus Lee plus the extended gang. Mm-hmm. They're all coming through Roxas and Xion's memory because obviously they have connections to Sora. So everybody has spent the past year looking for Sora.
Aww.
Kairi specifically is in the castle, believing that her heart may contain clues. Which sounds like a great idea for a sequel, but... anyway, but she's been asleep for this whole year as the researchers at the castle are combing through her heart and her memories. Which sounds like a great idea for a sequel. So suddenly Sid's like, oh my gosh, wow, look at the computer. It's combined with the ones from Twilight Town and the one of the castle. They're all in the same network, and I, mushed them together. And look, it's a data Sora. I made a data Sora. And, And also, I made data organization fights because everybody really liked those in the Kingdom Hearts 2 remaster, so I guess we're gonna do those again. But he's like, oh my gosh, but the real Organization 13's data, it's too powerful. I can't access the data. You know, it's locked up, even though I created it, so don't question it. I think it's Yuffie's like, oh my gosh, can you use Sora's data to access it? Which sounds like an excuse to give us Data Sora doing data fights against Data Organization.
Totally fair.
Wow. But you do it, it doesn't amount to anything. But then suddenly the fairy godmother shows up, and she's like, yo, Merlin and Yen Sid told me to come here.
Oh, great.
Because I need to analyze Riku's dreams. Because apparently I specialize in dreams is a thing that Nomura has decided.
No.
The fairy godmother specializes in dreams in the desire sense.
Yeah.
Not
But
in
they-
the stuff that happens while you're asleep sense.
Like,
No,
no,
they-
the sleeping world.
they've
Just,
decided-
yeah.
Allow it, allow it.
Right.
She specializes in all dreams. And Riku's like, well, I've been having these dreams of waking up in a building with tall skyscrapers. So that scene from the end was a dream. Riku's not actually in...
He doesn't
Tokyo.
make it to Tokyo, he just dreams
not-
he's in
he just-
Tokyo.
he's having
Excuse me.
dreams of Tokyo.
It's not Tokyo, it's Quantumania.
Whatever it's called. But as far as we're concerned, it's Tokyo.
They're in. So he's like, I've been dreaming of. Well, he calls it a city with tall buildings, and he's like, I'm wandering around, and somebody's also watching me from the top of one of those buildings.
View and Rex.
And
Or Master of Best.
and apparently Yen Sid is like, well, Riku's been in Sora's dream before, so maybe Riku's dreams have a clue. Yen Sid's like, well, that's a thing, so we're gonna send Dream Master Fairy Godmother to do some dream decoding. Riku's dreams are the keys. Also Kairi's. And we get a shot of
Also me. Also Donald. Also Goofy.
and then we get
also
a shot.
You.
No, and we get a shot of Kairi, and then credits.
Wait, what's the shot of Kairi? What's she doing?
She's just asleep in the bed. Sequel bait.
Go on, what's the post-credit scene? I'm not even celebrating at this point. What is it?
Elsewhere, Sora awakens. Sora! He awakens!
He awakens. Where is
And
he?
he looks like he's in like a nighttime version of the final world. It's like ocean and sky, but nighttime this
Oh,
time.
but so, to clarify for the listeners, Sora looks extra realistic here. Sora does not look like he's in his natural art style.
Sora does look...
Is that just the cut?
I will note that he doesn't look like the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer art style, but he does look more hyper-realistic than before.
Is that lore or is that just animation?
Potentially either. I will say that a lot of the scenes here at the end were animated specifically by Square's big in-house animation studio. Ooh. So probably this final Steer ending probably cost Square a couple $1 million.
He's got the weird buggy eyes, and it's not like fun buggy eyes, it's weird buggy eyes. Continues.
Anyway, so he wakes up and he's like calling out. He's like, is anybody out there? And a voice is like, hey, where are you? And the voice walks forward, revealing themselves to be Yozora!
Oh!
And
yes.
Sora's like, oh my gosh, it's Yozora. And Yozora's like, wait, why do you know who I am? And Sora's like, I'm Sora. And he's like, wait, Sora? You're Sora?
You're Sora? My name's Yozora. You're Sora?
No. As in, like, you're...
No, I'm Sora.
No.
You're Sora?
I feel like you're getting the wrong impact out of this.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. No, he knows who Sora is? How does he know who Sora is?
That's the point. Sora's confused about
That's
that.
the
He's like, Yozora, why do you know who I am? And Yozora's like, well, I've heard of you.
Right.
And Sora's like, well, if you're here, this can't be the real world then. Wait, also, that one girl told me about you one time. So maybe you are real? Yozora's like, okay, cool, are you done? So, first things first, no, this isn't the real world. Second, yes, I am here. But this isn't what I normally look like. This is like...
Yozora says that.
Yes.
Oh.
So he's like, I am here, this isn't the real world, this isn't normally what I look like. And given that this isn't what I normally look like, why do you know that I'm Yozora?
Because I saw Toy Story characters play as you once.
Why do you recognize me? And Sora's like, what? And then Yozora's like, also, why are you using Sora's name? And Sora's like, I am Sora. And Yozora's like, well, if you are, like you say, then it's fate that brought us together. My path is clear as he pulls out a gun!
Oh, guns! Finally!
Well, technically it's like a crossbow, but it's like a handgun crossbow.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he points it at Sora as the scene shifts. The night sky, like, swirls around them, forming Sora's heart platform. So suddenly they're on the Sora's heart platform, and then the scene shifts again as it forms into the top of the 10-4 building in Tokyo.
Oh my god. What's
hang
happening?
on. So Yozura was in Sora's heart, presumably.
But Tokyo was
And
also in Sora's heart.
And implied that he wasn't the way he looked normally. So that presumably explains why he looks like Riku. And then presumably went to go and shoot Sora, and now we're in not Tokyo.
So we're going to talk about this when we get to theories. I think we're not at the point where we can really wrap our heads around this. Is there any more Remind left, Chase?
Oh yes. We're not done.
Oh wow, okay.
We're not done.
Well, I thought that was like the post.
Oh, no. Yozora tells him that some time ago he wandered into this place, had to go through some trials, and then was told to save Sora.
So why is he attacking him? Sorry.
Sora
continue.
then asks, what's up with the weapon? Why are you attacking me? And Yozora turns it into a sword, saying it's time to end this, as the hardest boss battle in the entire series starts.
Oh, really?
If you win, Yozora comments that his powers must not be needed yet, as he begins to disintegrate. Also, I'd like to comment, the single best animation in the game. Like, this is very clearly not Kingdom Hearts animation.
That's lovely. Yeah.
I'd like to specifically point out, it's very Final Fantasy animation style here. We'll get into that in a minute. So, he begins to disintegrate, bursting into light as the scene shifts back to the final world, as Sora looks up into the sky. The screen goes black, and we see Yozora being woken up in the back seat of a car, with somebody calling out his name saying, "Commander." He looks out the window as he comments how, "I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real?"
Oh, it's
Or
the
not.
Final Fantasy thing.
And then
It's the Kingdom Hearts
Kingdom Hearts
thing.
thing.
and in the bottom we get a little credit for Yozora specifically saying Yozora voiced by Dylan Sprouse.
As in Zack and Cody
As
Dylan
in Zack and
Sprouse.
Cody Dylan Sprouse. It's great.
I really like Dylan Sprouse in things, so...
Exactly, it's great.
It's Dylan and Cole, right? Those are the
No, Zack and Cody.
no, the other brother is
Cole
Cole.
is-
Cole
Cole
Sprouse.
Sprouse.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes.
Dylan and Cole Sprouse.
Yes. Sorry, yes.
I'd also like to point out, there's a bad ending for this.
What's the bad ending?
It's the only fight in the game that has a bad ending that is also animated in this very expensive animation style. We'll get to why that's important in a minute.
Oh dear, okay.
If you lose, we get a shot of Sora falling to the ground as Yozora walks up to him saying, "Sorry, but I don't lose." Sora begins to crystallize from the ground up before he bursts into a crystal statue.
What? Like Kairi did after Xehanort killed her?
No, this is very different.
Very different.
Why is it different
It's
crystals?
different. No, a different world.
He's
though,
been
innit?
burst into a crystal statue. Zora reaches out to it saying, "I will save you." The scene shifts, and this time it's Yozora in the final world looking up into the sky before we get the same shot of him waking up in the car. Okay. So this is... I feel like I mentioned this somewhat in passing when we finished Kingdom Hearts 3, that Nomura, while working on Kingdom Hearts 3, was working on a separate game, Final Fantasy Versus 13, which was going to be the third installment in the Fabula Nova Crystallis Final Fantasy series, comprising of Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 13 Type 0, and finally Versus 13. Versus 13 had a very long and complicated development process that ultimately landed in it being semi-scrapped. Ultimately, many of the assets and characters being repurposed and turned into what would ultimately become Final Fantasy 15, which is also half the reason why Final Fantasy 15 is a bit of an unfinished, unpolished mess.
Not Noctis, right? I've played 15. I forget the main character's name.
Prince
Noctis was originally a 13 versus 13 character, and we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
And the most important bit, Nomura was removed from the Versus 13 project to work solely on Kingdom Hearts 3. He's
keep
gone
that
on,
idea
well,
and
he's gone on to say that the development of Versus 13 and all the complications are a large part of why Kingdom Hearts 3 took like 10 years to come out.
Okay.
So there were theories when Virum Rex was originally in Kingdom Hearts 3 that it might have been kind of alluding to Versus 13, just as like an homage, a nod.
What would have been?
You know, kind of, they're like, oh, it's very similar looking characters, looks like a similar city, kind of similar plot points. Remind kind of took that from like just it's an homage, you know, just a nice little nod, to just explicitly like the final shot of Yozora in the car is shot for shot exactly the same as the Versus 13 2011 trailer.
So you this is shocking, but it's not shocking explicitly because I think we've already had the reaction.
I think I did show this
You
to
did
you.
show us
You
this,
showed us
yeah.
this in Kingdom Hearts 3, but you didn't explain the full context of this.
Yeah, so it's shot for shot the same scene. That is who would ultimately become Noctis. So Yozora is seemingly our in-universe stand-in for Noctis.
What would have been. So Yozora's from an unfinished video game. We're going to talk theories in the next episode, but Yozora presumably, is my running theory, is from an unfinished video game. We're going full video game meta.
Oh,
yeah.
We're not pretending, sort of.
Let me finish though. It
You're not
gets
done, okay.
so much more meta than this.
Okay.
So the whole sword turning into a crystal statue thing. This is a thing from Final Fantasy 13. It's called crystal stasis. And in Final Fantasy 13, essentially the crystals gave people tasks, and when they completed their task, they were rewarded with immortal life by being turned into a crystal.
Okay.
Right.
So essentially, this is where forms the meta commentary. Slight spoiler for some people, because technically this is a reveal from Melody of Memory, but this is important for discussing this. Tokyo in this world, you guys already know this, is called Quadratum.
Yes.
Which is Latin for square.
Oh dear God! What? Okay. Okay.
Within this world called Square, a Final Fantasy 13 character fights a Kingdom Hearts character, seemingly representing Nomura's internal struggle of his desire to work on Kingdom Hearts 3, conflicting with his desire to work on Final Fantasy Versus 13.
This is, as a Hideo Kojima fan, this is pure Hideo Kojima stuff, right?
This is like the most expensive way to throw shade.
So, so it's important to know, also, technically he was working on 7 Remake at the time, we're going to ignore 7 Remake. 7 Remake is also a part of why Kingdom Hearts 3 took so long. But, so he was removed. Nomura didn't want to be removed, and he's kind of come out in comments, kind of just saying, I was removed, studio decided it, that's all I can really say.
Right.
Nomura clearly wasn't happy that he had to abandon what really was going to be one of his magnum opuses, in Versus 13. So, he obviously has ideas he still wants to use, but it's kind of an idea of his 2 games are fighting in this world that is square. And if Versus 13 wins, it's going to result in Kingdom Hearts remaining in stasis. On an eternal pause, remain in stasis.
And if Kingdom Hearts wins, it reverses. Versus 13 wait, I'm not ready yet. It's not going to happen.
Versus 13 fades away.
It's a race from history.
Wow.
So,
Bloody hell!
that's kind of the meta commentary.
Oh, suddenly the meta commentary has become more interesting than Kingdom Hearts. I didn't think I would say
there
that.
are really good analysis videos. I think there's one specifically by a channel called The Night Sky Prince that is really good, goes into more detail than this, and goes into some...
We will link The Night Sky Prince below.
I will send it to you. I'll link this. Shout out to him. But, yeah, now, granted, from a lore perspective in universe, I do think that Yozora and potentially some plot lines and characters from Versus 13 are going to play a part in the forward story, and we'll get into why I think that in some later theories. But yeah, meta commentary, man. Kingdom Hearts Phase 2 gets so meta.
That's
just
kind of
so meta.
I am excited. I think if I was a player, I wouldn't be excited by that because I've got you explaining things to me and keeping me up to date with theories. I am very excited by that. I think that's very cool.
I agree.
But that's purely because I don't have to interpret the stuff. But yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Is there anything left lore-wise?
That's where we leave off. But it's also the fact that this entire ending is the only part of Kingdom Hearts 3 that is animated in like Final Fantasy's in-house like main series animation studio that does like
style.
The ones that made like the Advent Children movie, the ones that made all these iconic like Kingsglaive, these like cinematic level movies. This ending probably cost them millions to make alone. But yeah, so that wraps up Kingdom Hearts 3.
Hey,
Fully and properly.
Oh my
We have-
god.
One game remaining.
So we are going to stop there. And what we're going to say is that this episode has covered Kingdom Hearts Remind DLC. As you can imagine, it actually has gone over longer than we anticipated. So we're going to be taking a quick break. We're going to have some pizza, and then we're going to come back, and we are going to cover Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. We're going to discuss proper fan theories, as we've alluded to the entire time, and we're also going to answer some fan questions, because shockingly, we have a bunch, which is awesome. So thank you so much for that. So yeah, we'll see you in the next one. The link will be in the description and the pinned comment below. Thank you very much.
See you soon, y'all.
Love you all.